Welcome everybody to Friday Night Shitposting, episode number 2. Now, I suppose I have some explaining to do. Some people have been asking, what happened to the first Friday Night Shitposting? And, well, I hate to tell you guys, but it's going to be lost forever. It's never going to see the light of day again. Unfortunately, what happened is when I was finished with the broadcast, YouTube only actually recorded about the last 2 hours of the stream. So a lot of the good content, which was closer to the beginning of the stream, was cut off. And another thing was that it was taking forever to process. I left that video up on my channel for about 36 hours, a little over a day. And after that time, it was still not done processing. So I just deleted it. Now, unless anybody happened to save that last 2 hours and they want to upload it, then I apologize, but you're never going to see it again. So hopefully this Friday Night Shitposting will more than make up for it. That's what I'm hoping. Now, I'm really hoping that this is going to be a regular thing on this channel. I'm thinking that once a month, probably not more than once a month, I would like to do one of these streams where, I just have some people come in and we shit post and shoot the shit and, have a good time. So I guess this is the first Friday Night Shit Post of the current year. And yeah, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to put a link in the description in case anybody wants to pop in. Anybody at all is welcome. You don't have to be a subscriber or anything. I'm going to put the link in the description very shortly. So if anybody has any questions, any concerns, put them in the chat. I'll see what I can do to address them. And yeah. So another thing I figure I should mention is that I am currently making my way through a 1.5 liter bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon at the moment. So I intend to be very inebriated by the end of this stream. So that should be interesting, to say the least. Okay, so I just put the invite in the description, and anybody is welcome to come on. I see that the chat has been disabled. This is actually the second Hangout that I've ever done, so I'm not too sure how to enable the chat. Maybe somebody can come on and give me a tip on that. A lot of things about Google Plus are just very, very opaque and difficult to figure out. That's probably why Google Plus has failed so miserably as a social media website. It's because it just doesn't make any sense. It's unusable. So I guess to fill this dead air and wait for some people to come on, I'll just talk about some things real quick. It appears that the Canadian government has created a trigger warning hotline for people who are distressed by content on the Government of Canada's website. I'm looking at an article on Breitbart.com about it right now. apparently, if you're triggered about reading about murdered Indigenous women, or you just you don't like the government's website, you can call in and tell them that it's triggering you, and I guess they'll make a safe space for you so that you can even. I'm kind of tempted to call it myself and just tell them to stop spending tax dollars on this wasteful, insipid shit. Maybe start paying down that huge debt bill. That might be a good idea. But hey. So I'm just going to start inviting some people to this. I noticed on the left-hand side there's a Q&A button. I don't know what that does. I'm going to press it. Maybe if somebody wants to ask a question, you're more than free. I see I have 3 people watching right now. I hope that you're not bored to tears. I mean, I don't have anything planned for this stream. It's just going to be like, hang around, talk about whatever. I wish I could get this chat going. All right, yeah, I'm just in the process of inviting some people on right now. Maybe I should have, prepared some music so you guys could listen to something while I do this. This wine I'm drinking is pretty good. It's Peely Island, from the Peely Island Winery. And in case anybody out there doesn't know, Peely Island is the southernmost part of Canada. It's actually on the same parallel as Northern California. So it's one of the few places in Canada where you can actually grow grapes, other than the Niagara Peninsula. So yeah, apparently we have beer in the grocery stores now, thanks to the great administration of Kathleen Wynne. Of course, once Trudeau, it's 2015 Trudeau, legalizes cannabis, then people will be too inebriated to care about any of the real issues that matter. They'll be too busy sitting on the couch playing video games while the world crumbles around them. All right, still getting this sorted out. Bear with me if anybody's still watching. You know, it's really unfortunate that the first Friday night shit posting is going to be lost forever, because there was some really good content in that one. All right.
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Hey, Ethan.
All right, I'm gonna invite Delta, Manuel, and Alfred. Hold up. All right, guys, I sent you guys a link.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to this whole Google Hangouts thing.
Yeah, no worries, because everybody. I also had a hard time when it was my first time as well. Just be glad at least you're not the technocratic socialist who couldn't figure it out in 3 days.
Yeah. So how do you know how to enable the chat for people watching on YouTube? Because in the video description, I go to edit and it says like enable chat, and I have the chat enabled, but I don't see it showing up.
I have no clue, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of a drag.
Hey.
Hey, Delta.
Well, I'm here. What is up, people?
Hello.
Delta here.
All right, yeah, welcome to Friday Night Shitposting #2.
The second one. Yeah, the first one went down bad it's history now because YouTube or YouTube.
Yeah, it was the JIDF. They shut it down.
I made the JIDF shut you down for hate speech. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Ethan,
already flagged this
the last 2 hours. You still have that?
The hate speech? That's on my channel. One of these, I already flagged videos for hate speech.
No, it's called free speech. You communist faggot.
I'll have to use
Yeah,
my
I gotta
shit.
do that.
Whoops. Let me check my
Hold up, I'll be back.
I will. Alright. I go to my screen share because I think I can actually freaking links. Oh shit. Whoa, I'm looking at myself in the hangout. Whoops. Where is that? I gotta go to my channel. Oh, no. Stop. Need sound.
Yeah. Anti-Nazi is a code word for anti-Deutsch.
Anti-Deutsch. Speak proper German.
So it's 2015 +1. It's the current year. The new current year.
It's always the current year.
Yeah.
2015
You communist faggot. It's free speech.
It's called free speech, yeah, communist faggot.
Yeah, it is. Literally free speech.
Have you heard of Cologne? Of the thing in Cologne, the mass rape attempts
Gee, I wonder what happened there.
of diversity in action.
Diversity.
Yeah, did you see how the mayor of Cologne came out and she said that
she
the girls of Germany have to be more modest to accommodate
they have
these
to be
rapists.
like one arm length away from anyone in a crowded place.
If
Not the rapist, like the wannabe Muslim rapists need to change that are flooding Europe, but the German women that are getting assaulted.
Well, I
Not
mean,
the
like,
German
I think you see all these movies like Mad Max and Star Wars where these little 150-pound women go around kicking ass all the time. Like women can do anything,
I've seen
guys.
the
Like,
new Star Wars movie.
I still haven't seen that actually.
well,
It's pretty good.
But we know who directed this. J.J. Abrams.
Abrams.
Abrams. Duh.
Yeah, I need to get an echo effect or something.
Yeah, we gotta do that. It's freaking. Someone needs to do that. Like really bad. It's gonna be hilarious.
That's all my problem.
Oh, yay! I'm gonna
you
flag Delta's video for this for hate speech. Social Democrats are gonna be triggered at this. The attack of the racist Pinochet supporting soccer accounts.
Of the
No,
fascist.
we're gonna give him so much
anti-feminist-
material to work with that he's just gonna be.
His head's
gonna
gonna explode. His head's gonna explode too much.
He's
Yeah,
gonna have
he's just not
Leftist
gonna
on
be.
Suicide Watch.
He's on suicide watch.
You know, we're gonna give him so much content that we're gonna need 50% royalty fee on every he makes.
He's gonna make 10 reply videos.
Yeah, all right,
and
yeah,
10 will
folks,
probably-
fasten your seatbelts. This is gonna be this is gonna be a good night.
Good night, anti-white.
Good night, anti. All right people are retarded. Race, obsessing over race like it's. What was that thing I came up? Oh yeah, Stephen Greenberg.
Oh yeah, Stefan Greenberg.
Stefan Tim, Stephen Greenberg, Stephen Greenstein. I don't freaking know your name. You're just fuck.
You know what? You know what happened today, guys? Like, a really left-wing cringe woman came out on the national news and made a commentary saying that, you know, guys, these Muslims raped a whole lot of German girls, but we shouldn't panic over that, and we shouldn't abandon multiculturalism.
Yeah, I saw an article
God.
on the Independent that said we shouldn't worry about the race of these people. We should worry about the gender, and it was basically the whole article was a polemic against why men are evil and why we have to smash the patriarchy.
I don't want to talk about the Daily Show all the time, but
you going to.
Mike Enoch said once that feminism is not about protecting women; it's just about being anti-white, and that is true.
Yeah, it's an excuse to hate on white guys.
Yeah, I mean the feminists in Norway, in Sweden, in all these Scandinavian places which have been flooded continuously by Muslim migrants, have always said that the women of these Scandinavian countries have to change, and not the Muslim rapists.
Yeah, and another thing, I think I brought this up the last episode, but I'm sure you're all familiar with Lacey Green, the very annoying feminist.
Oh,
Yeah.
that motherfucker.
Well, yeah. Somebody came up to her at a conference, and they asked her what she thought of the Rotherham rape scandal, and she had absolutely no idea what it was. Like, it just goes to show that these feminists who supposedly care so much about stopping rape and stopping the patriarchy, like they're just so disconnected with the actual problems going on in the world.
Themselves. They don't want to empower women. They just want to empower themselves.
It's a selfish act. That's all it is.
Wasn't Rotherham that town in Great Britain where like a Pakistani rape gang raped like kids for 10 years or so?
That was actually just the biggest one that most people know about. But this stuff has been happening all the time. Like there's if you go to Wikipedia and look this up, there's the Bristol sex gang, there was the Rockdale sex gang, Liverpool sex gangs. Well, I mean, like pretty much every city in Britain right now has some sort of Pakistani sex gang going around raping people.
Oh God.
It's
Muslim is a religion of peace.
It's a religion of peace.
Islam is a religion of peace.
Yeah, the religion of peace strikes again.
Yeah,
It does.
With the pedophile prophet.
Yeah, with the pedophile prophet. There's a pedophile on the freaking planet.
Don't wonder where it comes from,
Yeah. Well, it's the Orwellian thing. It's like freedom means war, and it's like peace means slavery.
Yeah, it's double speak.
Double speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Like some of these dumb communists. If you're like on the left and you're not against like identity politics, you're a brocialist now. You gotta be freaking retarded. You gotta be some freaking HDW faggot in order to be a true communist now. Okay, seems legit left. I left that cult in the first place.
But even in Marxist standards, they're just petty bourgeoisie socialists. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was always there in Marxism. If you look at the original works of Marx and Engels, you can see that social justice warriorism was always a part of Marxist-influenced socialism. For example, the oppression of the woman is the first, so to say, oppression. The formation of the modern family is the first act of oppression, which all follow. Then follow like first the oppression of woman and the traditional family, then class, then the state. That's how like Marxist logic goes on how modern society consolidated.
Well, yeah, that bitter, scathing attitude that's characteristic of many people on the left. I mean, it's been there since the days of Marx. But I think like identity politics, which is really the heart at which this whole it's really at the heart of all this SJW bullshit. That really started, with like Antonio Gramsci and the Frankfurt School.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at Herbert Marcuse, who was one of the leading figures of the New Left, or the rise of the New Left during the 1960s, he basically said that like the workers' revolution, as it was imagined by people like Lenin and Marx, that's dead. Like we have to rely on like social outcasts to achieve the revolution. People who are like insane, people who are outcasts from society, homosexuals, people who are degenerates.
Pedophiles, basically.
Yeah, that's why
That's
a lot of
creepy,
people like SJWs rallying these people right now because these
Yeah,
people, they're going to supposedly
was-
bring about the revolution.
Yeah,
Not the workers.
I think this new wave of social justice warriorism that developed in the 50s and 60s came about as a combination of the rise of Eurocommunism, the Frankfurt School, and what happened in China. Eurocommunism, this big movement in Italy, France, Spain, where all the Communist Party leaders decided we're not gonna go with the Stalinist line anymore, and we're gonna promote reform. And
Yeah.
that kind of translated into this revolutionary movement in Europe, becoming more of a social change movement. And as time went on, and the proletariat in some countries disappeared, like Sweden, where the workers have insanely high wages.
But like, what
This
period in Spain?
reformist movement could no longer base itself on, workers' struggle, so they were just
Alfred.
replaced with genuine.
What
Then
kind
you
of
have the
what
then you
period
have
in
the,
Spain?
the Frankfurt School, which tries to deconstruct capitalist society.
I'm sure that.
And
that
then
all
you have
guys
China,
have watched
China
the
where
video on
with
YouTube.
the Cultural Revolution, not as a third factor where they just go full culturally extreme and just try to destroy all of the previous Chinese culture.
Yeah, I'm sure that you've all seen the video on YouTube of Yuri Bezmenov, who is the former KGB agent. He's giving a lecture about ideological subversion. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah.
He's a Russian dude, and he also said something about the beauty of social justice.
Yeah, he basically says that most of the actions of like KGB and similar organizations, it's not about going and blowing up bridges or engaging in violent actions. It's mostly about subverting the morals of society, which makes that society more easy to overthrow. Like he talks about how these like Soviet groups, they have supported like really subversive elements within American society during the 50s and 60s, and I think that this sort of contributes to the rise of the new left.
The rise of neo-progressivism.
Of course,
Sorry,
America is
Even though
doing the same thing
Union's
today.
gone,
I mean, they funded
the
all
legacy
these
is still-
supposedly democratic elements in like the Middle Eastern countries, which were stable. I mean, I could imagine that. I mean, America used the same technique, so why not the Soviets?
Yeah.
We did some pretty subversive stuff ourselves, if you think about it. But I was gonna say, Alfred, like the whole thing in Spain had the whole Eurocommunism thing. I think it was like during the '80s though, because during the '70s in Spain, well, most of the '70s it was under Francoist rule, as everybody knows. Like the first 5 years of the
of
70s.
course, Spain came later, but
Because Franco and all that.
Eurocommunism in France and Italy was pretty
So,
strong.
by the
in
way,
the
is
60s.
Franco one of your heroes?
Franco, for me, I know like Manuel kind of knocks on him for like some stuff, but he did bring Spain out of a freaking dark era, which was the Republic. I used to be a huge Republic shill if no one knew that. The Spanish Republic was so great, and I started hearing about that. They slaughtered Catholics for no reason, just because they were like trying to mind control people and all. So they were killing like conservatives, Catholics. I don't call for violence of anybody, not even Catholics, but still, it's just cold. You don't do
There
that.
was such a huge anti-clerical movement in Spain
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
Like they would go around and rape nuns and burn down churches.
It kind of comes from who led them. I mean, the Communist Party was
Anarchists.
basically
Anarchists
built
are
for the
basically slaughtering
CPSU,
Oh, fuck.
like
man.
everywhere. The French Communist Party was a shield of the CPSU, the Spanish Communist Party, the German Communist Party.
Yeah, speaking about Franco and the stuff that he did for Spain and getting it out of the Republic. So remember how the other time in our shitposting podcast we were talking about Pinochet?
Pinochet. Oh, Augusto Pinochet?
Yeah, I remember when Manuel says that.
Let's give him helicopter ride.
A lot
Yeah,
of people,
helicopter rides, yes.
they complain about Pinochet's dictatorship, but
And
like he
Franco.
said, it's either millions people starve under communism or just a couple thousand communists getting free helicopter rides.
Basically, I mean, Pinochet basically saved us from an escalation of the Cold War.
Yeah, basically
If Chile would have fallen to communism.
Just look at Chile today. I mean, Chile is arguably one of the most stable countries in all of Latin America.
Yeah.
And it probably because
the highest economic freedom
kinda,
under Pinochet.
It kind of needed these 20 years of dictatorship to save democracy, so to say. If we would have continued with Allende,
oh, that would have
Chile
destroyed
would have continued. The Soviets, I guarantee you, the Soviets would have gotten nuclear missiles in the country.
But then you have apologists
like
like Redskins TV, Democratic Socialist 01.
Oh, Benji? Yeah, Benji's a big cuck for Allende.
And all of them who like to make excuses for Allende.
Oh yeah, Allende. And back on the Franco thing too, is that the Spanish Republic really pushed the feminist agenda really, really hard. Like they did whatever they want, but the Spanish state was like, nope, you're going right back in the kitchen where you belong, almost. Like it kind of whipped everything back in the line and like set Spain back up, but then after that it went back. Of course, it went right back to what it was before.
Yeah, it's so weak when so many leftists claim that Pinochet was evil and Allende was so great just because Allende was elected. Like he wasn't really even elected by like the popular vote. He won by coalition with another political party.
By the popular coalition, or what was it called, of like communists, socialists, social democrats, all kind of left-wing groups that grouped together. So to say.
I've literally had communists say, you're a Franco boo. I've had communists call me that. Literally, you're a Franco boo or something like that. I was like, piss off. Literally, I don't care.
Oh yeah, didn't Richard say that to you?
Yeah, some Slav, yeah, he's like, literally kill yourself, Franco boo. Like, I think the kill yourself was a joke, but of course, like we did a lot, like another chat, there's all these jokes about that, but I'm like, I've had people say I'm literally like, oh, man was like, you're Franco boner or something like that. I'm like, piss off, dude. Republic. Either was the Republic, or it would have been like, it could have been the Republic where people like, Spain would be a huge mess if that stood.
Yeah, but that Republic was democratically elected.
Oh, my election. And that's because the monarchy was unpopular. Because I'm reading a book on the Phalange. Like the monarchy was like a mess in that later time, like the 20s and 31. That they were, I think it was. I don't think it was the same Rivera who did the Phalange, but it was a mess. He just trashed the freaking monarchy, and like it was.
Spain carried over a lot of elements of feudalism into the 20th century, and
it was a nightmare.
Yeah, they kind of had a huge amount of military dictatorships in like in a kind of time of 20 years, and so kind of you should have expected something like that to happen, something like the Republic arising, like a kind of primitive uprising against everything, something that wants to redefine Spanish society.
One thing that I understand about Spain is that it's a very fragmented country, right? Like you have different areas of Spain, they all have completely different mentalities, different cultures, and it's really it makes a lot of sense that something like the Spanish Civil War would come about because these different ideologies around the country all vying for power.
Like the Phalange was in the countryside.
It is also very interesting which primary ideologies actually fought against each other. It isn't just like, oh, communism and fascism fought. No,
there were anarchism.
It's like anarcho-syndicalism against national syndicalism.
Led by D. Rivera.
Two very federalist ideologies. Two ideologies which stress the multicultural factor of Spain with a federalist approach. You have anarcho-socialism, anarcho-syndicalism, which is very federalist. You have national syndicalism, which can be very federalist. Of course, Franco was just a basic bitch, Catholic conservative.
Carlos, wasn't that Carlos or something like that? Because the Carlos fought
yeah, the Carlists were like the
Franco betrayed the ideas of the national syndicalists, of course, but the people were fighting for national syndicalism, which was also federalist, so to say.
Which it would have been Rivera, but he got the Republicans killed him like 24 hours after the war, like right after the Civil War started. So
It is also very interesting which regions fought against each other. You know, basically the region of Castile fought against the region of Aragon. The anarchists had their stronghold around Barcelona and the region.
in Catalonia, Catalonia was their big one.
Catalonia. Yes. And the monarchists had their strongholds in regions of Castile and in north of Leon.
Leon and Castile or something. What about Leon? That republic was awful. Like I seen like some of those social democrats say, "Look how great it was," and all this. I'm like, it was awful. It was downright awful what they did. The conservatives and.
Well, I mean, it depends who you were. If you were like a Catholic priest during the Republic, probably wasn't very good for you. But if you were, you know, like
probably
some
If you're some
generous
feminist bitch, then it probably would have been really good.
yeah.
But if
So,
you were a Russian-sponsored communist, you would have probably had a very good life.
Yeah.
You know, killing priests, you know, killing landowners, destroying
That's how it was in most of Cuba's La Cabana camps. All they do is kill priests, private landowners, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, but they're so great and great socialists because.
Yeah, like I've said, these leftists do not care that Pinochet killed anyone. They don't care about that at all. Because if they did, why do they support guys who killed millions?
Yeah, well, if you read For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway, which is held up by a lot of leftists to be like, you know, really pro-Republican. There's even a part in that book where a lot of the main characters, they go into a church and then they lead out like all the aristocrats and all of the churchgoers out, and then they throw them all off a cliff. And this is presented in the book like it's some sort of great, you know, triumph of the proletariat over bourgeoisie. It's just to show you that like
although it
people are
wasn't
just as
really
murderous and just as evil as like Franco and all them.
Although it wasn't even really a Spanish Revolution, it was just the Soviet Union trying to expand its influence. The Soviet Union had tried for years to break through to Western Europe.
It freaking failed because
when the Trotskyist line of permanent revolution, i.e., breaking through Poland to get to Germany, which was, you know, the main point which they had to capture to win all of Europe to communism, failed, they did another approach. Otto Strasser describes that in his book, The Renovation of Germany, or what it is called in English, I don't know, it's called Deutschlands Erneuerung in German, after the war, where he describes like that the Soviets set up all these communist movements that just sprang out of the earth, so to say, that just appeared with like giant fundings, weapons, organization, and contacts in these countries.
You mean organization?
Organization.
Yeah, I wonder who the organizers are in that case.
It's probably some Jew. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard a lot of people argue that the Spanish Civil War was like it was a proxy war essentially between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union.
Well, the Spanish got rude support, so they
I would
crushed
say
them like no problem.
between the later Axis powers. I mean, Italy kind of ate that too.
It
wasn't even really a fascist struggle. It was just a struggle of nationalist Europeans against internationalist communists. Because really nobody wanted to expand the influence of the Soviet Union except the Soviet Union, because everybody hated them.
Yeah, everybody didn't like them. Yeah, you
For a
had
reason
like,
that we can all
like
understand.
Rivera and things like that spanning phalange, of course, and that. Unfortunately, what happened to Rivera though, but.
Yeah, and then Franco fucked it up by not.
Franco did. He had
understanding.
plenty of screw-ups, of course, but definitely better than having the Republic.
It's better than having the Republic, man. You know, anything is better than communism.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of leftists, when you start talking about, you know, like the global objectives of communism, they attribute it to some sort of like conspiracy. It's a conspiracy basically to these people. But if you look at, you know, the stated intention of the communists at that time, if you look at, you know, the writings of the Comintern, the first Communist International, like their stated goal was, you know, the global propagation of communism. That's what they explicitly tried to do.
Hold
So
on.
it's a
The
conspiracy.
goal was a
I've s-
global communist society, which was free of classes, money, and the state. That was
I've seen
pretty
that
obvious.
everywhere.
That's what they said since the beginning.
Oh yeah, I even see it in the beginning with modern social movements out with whole social justice and queer this. They want it globally, which I know that's not going to happen because you have like the Islamic world. They're not going to put up with that. If we tried to force that on them, you know how many freaking terrorist attacks would be going on like every day?
How many
Well,
It'd be
decapitations?
nuts.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
what
they'd be going
I
nuts.
think Libya under Gaddafi was actually it was a combination of socialism and Arabic.
Yeah, it has to be
Um,
very Arab.
Green socialism was a kind of adaptation of socialism to the Arab world, which mixed pan-Arabism, Islam, Sunni Islam, and socialism, basically. Not really communist or Marxist socialism, but another form. I've read the Green Book, and he stresses the importance of property to the freedom to individuals. Like he says that if you lend something, you are basically accepting slavery. If you own something, you own it. You are free, so to say. And that's why Libya built housing for people and gave it to them as property, for example.
Hmm.
And Gaddafi has an entirely different system of running Libya. Head, of course,
Yeah.
a certain group of people had an interest in destroying an independent Arab regime, of course,
Yeah.
where
I wonder who that
there
could
were
be.
no parties, and a kind of council system ruled the country.
Yeah, I mean, Gaddafi was very popular among his people while he was in power.
Of course,
But
of
something
course.
happened with the Arab Spring that must have triggered something.
It was ideological subversion, man. Certain elements.
Arab Spring.
Well, Mubarak, I think, had to go or something like that.
Well, actually, didn't some WikiLeaks documents recently come out that proved that the Arab Spring was essentially an American? It was American organized.
American organized, but planned and executed and willed by another
Certain group of
innocent
people.
little
But a
Middle Eastern
second.
country that
Alright.
can do no wrong.
Well, I mean, we
You
all
know,
know who
a group
guides
of people
American foreign policy,
which
right?
One of the
owns
allies,
a
one of the Americans.
disproportionate and
not gonna
giant
name it.
number of financial capital.
I'm not gonna name it.
Which has been working as merchants for hundreds of years, and has been practicing a cult of death, so to say, which proposes that all people that aren't of their kind are, animals.
Yeah. By deception thou shalt make war.
Yeah. But we don't know who these people are. It could be the Illuminatis, but I'm not sure.
Or it could be the Jews. Who knows?
Oy
Whoa,
vey,
whoa,
anti-Semite.
whoa, hey.
Whoa.
Hey.
We use the
Anti-Semite.
term
It's occurring
Ashkenazi
here.
around here.
I said it
Yeah,
could be the
2016,
Jews. Who
you
knows? It
knock
could
it
be.
off.
It could be anybody.
2016, and you are naming
It's
the
supposed
Jew.
to be a safe
It's the
space.
current year.
A safe.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You are
Not
literally Hitler now. Whoa.
They are
I'm literally
Talmudic
Hitler.
commandments, man.
Oh, this freaking guest.
All right, so let's move on to a different topic. It's getting a little bit too red-pilled. I don't want to get shut down,
Yeah.
So let's talk about this whole thing going on in Oregon right now. I'm
Oh,
sure you
that
guys are
I
following it.
fully
You
support
mean
it.
Oregon
Oh,
under
by the way,
attack
hi,
from
everybody.
Al-Qaeda?
Yeah, well, I just saw
Communist
a
got
video.
fucked.
I just saw a video by my arch nemesis, Mr. John Green, where he attempts to explain why we shouldn't be too disgruntled about this, Goy, because we stole this land from the Native Americans, so we deserve
Oh my god.
anything that
Goyim, white
yeah.
farmers have no right to exist.
yeah.
Basically, by that
We
logic.
just pay Native Americans reparations for all time.
God, all this apology. That's all the left wants. Apology.
I actually fully support giving free stuff to the Native Americans. I mean, I think we should just start giving them free blankets right now.
Yeah.
laced
Yeah,
with disease and shit.
Maybe have some,
Basically.
some
I
people
mean, the
pop
Native
on them.
Americans also need some livelihood to build or some goods to gain. I mean, they kind of were persecuted. But,
Nobody gets the joke dropped. Okay.
I get the joke, Manuel. It's called
Like,
killing. It's not called
only
wiping them out.
because, like, 500 years ago, one Indian tribe lived on this land doesn't mean that somehow a white farmer, which which has some problems with the Federal Bureau, can use his right to free speech and to arm himself to protest against something the government does?
People who always defer to the Native American argument, it's just so flawed, because you have to understand that the Native Americans, prior to European contact, they were not a unified group. They were a bunch of different tribes. They were constantly at war with each other. They were arguably like.
Most of them didn't even believe in property. So this argument is kind of invalid.
One of the very first European settlers here in Canada, by the name of Samuel de Champlain, he was one of the first people to map Canada, and if you read his writings about his experiences with the Native Americans, like, these people were like, I'm sure Social Democrat is going to get on my ass for saying this, but they were savages. Like, they constantly
the Iroquois were battling the Hurons for hundreds of years.
And plus, there were some Native Americans who fought with the Europeans as well.
Yeah.
Well, tribes fought against each other. They would join with the French Indian War. Tribes would join with the British or the French, and they would attack each other.
Yeah, I mean, the Hurons joined with the French, the Iroquois with the English.
Well, it's not as the 7-Year War in Europe. It's not as the 7-Year War, because all the European powers at home fight.
They just reused this argument Jean-Jacques Rousseau made, that somehow these are noble savages, that they can't do anything wrong because they are uncivilized, and therefore evil Whitey needs to get out and has no right to exist in America.
Evil Whitey man, shit. Didn't do logic. Yeah, I hate them. Dude, it's like...
Kill Whitey, man.
Kill Whitey, man.
I wanted to say,
We was Kangs. Give me my reparation now.
It was Kangs, man. It was Kangs. We used pyramids to store grain and shit.
At least the Native Americans can have a bigger claim to we was Kangs than, another group.
They were chiefs. They got them up in the U.S.
The Native Americans built pyramids. They did it.
That was the Aztecs, like the Maya.
The Aztecs.
The Toltecs or whatever. A lot of these smaller.
The Incas. They actually built pyramids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the native...
Like Latin America. Natives like Latin America, of course.
Yeah, the ancient Aztecs were arguably a lot more advanced than the native tribes living in Canada. And
modern Mexicans, Aztecs.
Well, which is why we conquered every tribe that was around us.
Yeah, actually, one thing that's interesting was when Hernan Cortez besieged Mexico City.
Tenochtitlan?
Yeah, Tenochtitlan. There were actually more native tribes fighting alongside him than there were Europeans, because all of the native tribes around New Mexico at that time, they all hated the Aztecs, and they jumped at the opportunity to attack the city.
Yeah.
But a lot of social justice warriors conveniently leave that fact out of history.
Oh, okay. Racism.
Yeah, it was just like a bunch of white Spaniards who were motivated by racist, bigotry. They just
actually by gold.
I don't even think they thought about race at that time.
No.
They get
I don't know. As a Mexican, I don't see race. I just see geopolitics.
The whole
I mean,
thing
the same thing with the African slave trade.
God,
we Europeans didn't pick up the Africans because we thought that they were inferior to us. We picked them up because they were cheap as fuck.
Yeah,
we got it from the Arabs. The Arabs were taking
because their own tribesmen sold them at so low prices that it was profitable to ship them over to America to pick cotton. That was not done.
The Arabs are the racists in this black thing. In this black thing, really, it's the Arabs who are being the racist here.
Yeah, and there was the Barbary slave trade as well, which involved,
but it's only racist,
kidnapping Europeans.
Yeah, the Barbers came even up to Iceland and enslaved white people, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, and that lasted for much longer than the transatlantic slave trade did.
And the Arabs had a huge amount of black slaves in the other countries. The Egyptians enslaved a whole group of Turkic tribes, the Mamelukes, and used them as slave soldiers. But nobody talks about it.
Well, yeah, the Mamelukes, didn't they rebelled at some point?
Yeah, they rebelled and took over Egypt multiple times.
Yeah. Well, even relatively recently, there was the Devshirme, which, the Ottoman Empire would go into Europe at those times, and they would kidnap mostly prepubescent white boys and they would castrate them, and then they would raise them as like civil servants because
or the
Ottoman
Yanichars,
Empire,
they were mostly made up of white Greek
like
or
castrated
Bulgarians.
people were more supposedly
and
loyal
they
to the
used them
Ottoman
as the guard of the emperor of the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
But let's ignore that fact because that's.
Yeah, and
white people are evil. Tom, since you're white, since you're a white male, you don't deserve to live.
Like this, every race had slaves at any point when they were developed and civilized. You know, when people reach civilization, they need, so to say, surplus labor in the form of human capital to build
historical materialism.
My historical materialism intensifies.
And the only people who never had slaves were the ones that never had a demand for them because they weren't fucking civilized.
Native Americans had slaves on the Trail of Tears.
Basically.
Native Americans had slaves on the Trail of Tears, and nobody talks about that because
Man, kill Whitey, man.
because natives didn't do nothing and they're just innocent and they're so oppressed.
Yeah, nobody did do nothing. It's just the whites who are evil, man.
It's just white people. Like, it's just this freaking retarded leftist. Just blame the white. Like, all this white privilege. That's like it's freaking retarded. What is it? No, it's ridiculous. You're just trying to blame white people for your own problems.
Oy vey, Goy, you've been reading too many of them history books. You should just read the ADL website, Goy.
Oy vey, this is very progressive.
Just read the article from the Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah.
Alfred and Tom are both privileged, so they don't have the right to speak.
Oh, they're shitlords. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. According to the progressive staff, we have to speak last, I guess.
Yeah, because you're shitlords. You're privileged.
I don't get leftist logic though. Gender and race are a social construct, but yet they don't exist.
Yeah, people can be born the wrong gender, but gender doesn't exist.
Yeah, race is only
retarded.
deep, but there's white privilege. And of course no Jewish privilege, although, this group owns most of the capital in the world, basically.
They own a lot of capital, yeah. Not everyone owns capital in that race, but...
He never claimed that.
I was just saying. There's a lot of them who don't own capital.
And what has been baffling me is this whole conception of white privilege. I mean, if you're in a white country and you complain about white privilege, these are the people that are native to this country. Why shouldn't they have a privilege? Why shouldn't they have privilege? They are the citizens. They are the native people who live there.
Like in Europe? That's like stupid.
Nobody complains about Chinese privilege.
Except for retards.
Because
Nobody
the
complains
Chinese
about
didn't enslave
African
the Native
privilege in
Americans.
Africa.
I guess because China but the China had their thing like with controlling Mongolia and crap. So
yeah, like if white people are so evil and demonic and they have they marginalize all these other groups, then why do all these other groups have the desire to be around them so much? Like
let's go to Europe to be oppressed, guys.
Yeah.
Oppressive gives me dead.
I'm hoping that when I go to Canada, Tom and all the other white men can oppress me.
Oh yeah, it's just a 24-hour oppression up here.
24-hour oppression.
It's like the Man in the High Castle. On Tuesdays we burn all the minorities.
You burn the cripples on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, you could be born the wrong gender. So like the other day I was arguing with Brendan, the technocratic socialist, on my discussion board, and he said that the reason why most transgenders kill themselves isn't because isn't due to any it's due to the fact that they're being bullied and discriminated against, and because conservatives try to stop them from getting surgeries.
Yeah,
they should get the hormones they miss, not the ones.
The hormones they get the correct hormones because see, I'm gonna say this right now. This is most transgenders. What am I? Am I a boy or a girl? Who? I'm like, be honestly, who in the fuck wants to live like that? I'd be like, what the fuck am I? Am I a boy or am I a girl? So I'd just be like.
Have you ever watched those compilations that Common Filth makes about all these vines of all these transgender kids, and they're all going off about how people misgender them or use the wrong pronouns? Oh yeah, you guys got to watch that. It's the most.
Oh my,
triggering thing ever.
misgender. Please.
Oh, dude, did you guys see that Jewish dude who was interviewing that transgender, and then he tried to kill him and curb stomp him?
Yeah, I did see that.
Hold on, let me play that video right now.
If this is someone who's Jewish, I'm surprised they didn't go, oy vey, it's like another Holocaust.
I'm told that I'm going to be.
Nah.
The bus train has no fucking brakes.
Or are they trying to help them by not engaging in a delusion? I'm not sure where Dr. Drew went to medical school, but it seems to me that probably sometime in his practice he had to inform somebody that what they were experiencing was not real.
I'm not paying attention, but his
Perhaps he
fucking
obviously
voice sounds like his face is punchable. Probably got a big fucking long hooked nose sitting on under
Yeah,
a
I
big
mean,
pair of
that sounds
big
like
glasses that I
if he
just
has
wanna
the
break
right
with
to
my
return
fist.
to Israel.
Yeah.
No, and then the black
Shapiro
lady in
happens a lot.
CNN said that there's a genocide of transgender children.
There's genocide of trannies now.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, this is coming from the lady whose
Re-
grandmother talks about how white kids need to be shot by black cops.
What?
Yeah, her grandmother says that white kids need to be shot by black cops.
If you want freedom, you have to kill some crackers.
That's Shango.
Yeah, it's a picture. Was it that Tyrone meme? Everyone, all these I see around here. He's just like shit. He didn't do nothing wrong. He was a good boy. Trying to get
was
more money
a
for
good
that
He's getting his
prison.
life on track. He was
He's
going
trying
to
to fix-
college.
His life.
He's doing nothing.
Trying to get his life on
Niggers,
track.
dude.
Going to church.
I swear to God, it's like they make my entire race look like a bunch of freaking idiots, dude. They take pride in retardation. I'm like, it's like if you're trying to be like myself, because I have I have black kind of whatever we'll say, yeah, black heritage. Like to be honest here, I try to go to school. I try to do stuff, and then apparently I'm a house Negro because I'm not an idiot like Shango. I'm not like mentally retarded. I'm not going it was Kangs, man. Apparently being smart by black standards is a bad thing.
Yeah. It's such a tragedy. These cops going around gunning down all these child prodigies. You know, it's
Prodigy
Yeah.
punks. They're like freaking
these kids would have like composed the next great symphony. I swear. Like, you know that Tamir Rice guy. If he hadn't been shot if he hadn't been shot by that evil white racist cop, you know, he would be going to Harvard Law School. He would be defending the next O.J. Simpson. If he
Driver Martin would have become a physicist and would have enabled the human species to do interstellar travel.
he would have found a cure for cancer, we would have gotten to the moon.
Yeah, man, he did.
or what was it that Eric the Red guys? If if it wasn't for freaking like Christianity, we'd be like in space or something.
Oh yeah, he was like, I swear, if all the religious nut jobs were gone in the world, we'd be living in fucking space right now. But instead, they pull us back and they judge us. Their time is coming.
The time is coming. Yeah, right, you freaking idiot. Your time's getting your time's gonna be up really soon.
Your
Keep
time
dreaming.
is coming, white man.
Keep dreaming, faggot. Disgusting.
Raiders would have been in space by now.
Thinking we can freaking get rid of Christians and I'll solve the freaking world's problems, faggot.
So if we get rid of the communists, then we'll solve the world's problems. That's the best thing.
It's not gonna really. There's still gonna be social justice wars. You're still gonna have problems, but
Yeah, social justice wars, of course.
you'll have problems. But you're not gonna have that many. You're not gonna have like communist retards running around. That's the only thing. You're still gonna have problems because the whole thing. People think if we get rid of this one group, all problems go away. It's human nature. Human
nature is
twisted.
not an intrinsic thing, dude.
It's like
It's shaped by you're shaped by the society around you, man. Nobody is born
sounds like
evil.
leftist
Nobody's
dodo.
born greedy.
I ascribe to the Immanuel Kant theory that, you know, to some extent that we are shaped by our society and our surroundings, but there are some, you know, intrinsic attributes to human nature that you can never just get rid of with, you know, indoctrination. Otherwise, if that were true, I'm pretty sure that we would see a lot more success with feminism and all this other bullshit.
Yeah, and
Well,
Nature's
it's
not
a centuries-long debate of nature versus nurture, and I mean, it's a combination of both. But as far as like sociological behavior and societal behavior, you know, cultural norms and ideas and opinions are totally formed by the world around you. I mean, you're not born, you know, you're not born religious. You're not born with any ideology. You're not born with morals or values or anything like that.
yeah.
You're
That's
taught
I'd say
those
that,
things.
Hey, Tom, you know what I was laughing about the other day?
What?
All right, so remember on the 22nd when Luis had created another sock account where he was pretending to be Democratic Socialist or what, and then he
I
told
saw that.
he told the Technocratic Socialist, I think you are hot. Can you stick some Vegemite in my ass? And he was all like, another troll account. Can these losers get any more pathetic? And you're all like, are you sure it's not you? Because we know how much you love Vegemite.
Yeah, yeah. I
Dude,
actually
you
thought that
pulled it.
was the Democratic Socialist for a second. I wouldn't put it beyond him to say something like that.
Dude, he's
I know.
queer. What do you expect?
Plus, I'm just surprised that at least this time he didn't blame me like usually.
He thinks like okay, so the whole thing, not to get like all tinfoil hattish or anything, but it's like basically for Democratic Socialist, how his mind works, instead of being the Jews, it's center-right alliance controlling the world or something dumber.
Yeah, I control all of YouTube according to him.
Yeah, if he tries to have a shower and there's no more hot water, he's like, damn you, Ethan. Damn you, right alliance.
Oh my gosh, look at that bastard Ethan. He did it again. If he fell off the chair in his university, in his class, he just said that I flew all the way to Australia,
Sabotage the chair
and then I went back to the U.S. overnight.
Yeah, he
The
probably
eternal Ethan.
The eternal Ethan.
classes about it.
Conspiracy.
I'm just gonna be like, you guys should just make a merchant of me and just be like, heh, what should I do to Democratic Socialist 01 now?
He probably has like a voodoo doll of you, and he puts pins in it every night.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, he hits it with a hammer and sickle.
He's a Democratic Socialist. He has like a rose in like in a pot, like next to his Vex. He's a social democracy.
And then he told Tom in the comment section, he said, did you see their first live stream where they had trolls like Delta and Manuel Ochoa where they were accusing Brandon of supporting pedophilia, and he was all like,
does.
It's a topic that they seem to be obsessed about.
Hold on, let me speak on this though. He actually does. Him and Freeflow. I confronted Freeflow about it. The whole lolicon thing is basically like just child porn, like anime put together, and he said he supported it because I don't want to get it's freaking complicated. Because if they have something to jerk off to, it's gonna stop all this child molestation. And that's literally what Flo said. I was like, holy.
Yeah, we
No,
should
because
just
see,
give like Jared
pornos are
Bogle
totally stopping Muslims raping women. No.
Is he one of those people who thinks that there should be no age of consent law?
That's Brandon, and I think Manuel has the entire story, like because he was the one who told me about this.
Manuel,
the whole bit Brandon supporting child porn.
Dude, I'm not really in the mood to like
Tell stories and shit.
but
But it's not about Brandon
I
supporting
just
child porn. That's all I
That's
know.
why I've been like quiet. Is I'm really busy and I have a long day and
He's exhausted and shit.
Well, but
dude.
it was basically a few months back in the last summer when we were still like.
Oh yeah, last summer is what it was.
And we kind of had a long number of debates with these people, and kind of came out that they support child porn because that would lower pedophilia and just other.
Which it doesn't.
But I don't know if this is true with the age of consent being like -2 or something.
0 basically.
Yeah.
A lot of leftists like Mr. E always says.
Confirm this.
Well, Muhammad was married to like what, an 8-year-old? So
9-year-old, if I remember correctly.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's apparently good. Oh, because they're indoctrinated about the religion of peace. Christians are evil and oppressive, and they're misogynistic. They hate women, they hate gays, but Muslims are peaceful and tolerant.
Yeah, that must
Okay.
be like one of the main selling points of Islam. Like, you can't drink, you can't dance, you can't have fun,
Well,
but
you can fuck
you're
children.
having an 8-year-old.
Yeah, but Christians are so oppressive and intolerant. Where does it say in the Bible where does it say in the Bible that you beat a woman? No, it doesn't.
I already flagged this videos for hate speech, so.
Oh my god, this stream right here is like maximum autism.
Communist faggot!
Call him a communist faggot. Well, he is a faggot. It's like it isn't even a surprise. He's a freaking faggot. I don't care. You come. Okay, JDF, come shut me down because
I have
I
a
said hate
solution
something
for the
hateful.
communist problem.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I heard when you guys left the communists, it was mostly Alfred and Manuel. I heard they were getting a lot of shit from all these cultists.
Yeah, it's kind of like. Well, that's not.
Oh, because they were like really
TBH.
deep, like in Mao's third world.
Just look at Google Plus when it comes to three of us, and then look at the commentaries of a lot of communists, and a lot of people blocked us, including Mason. I don't know why Mason blocked me. I mean,
He didn't
never
block
had
me.
something to do with him. But it was like you get a shitstorm because you have a different ideology now. And all these friendships.
Maybe because you're like probably in his eyes a
these
national
people
socialist.
who kind of, said they were our friends, or at least behaved that way, were then, angry at us for changing the ideology and were not behaving anymore, so to say, and so on. Like the whole friendship, so to say, was like connected to the ideology, and that is pretty sick, TBH.
Yeah, I'm still friends with Manuel. We have. He doesn't have an ideology, and I have one, so it's.
Yeah, look at how a lot of us here have our disagreements, and we're not fighting or anything.
We're sitting having a talk on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus,
Leftists are always just trying to divide people.
and plus,
capitalists divide
me and
people.
Delta were talking about this the other day. Compare this Friday night shitposting to Black Cat's Socialist Saturdays. Ours is more diverse, not only in race, but in ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have anything here. We have libertarians, we have nationalists, we have socialists. We're pretty diverse. Pretty paused.
Socialist being Alfred Strasser.
Yeah.
And nationalist at the same time. So
And we have Manuel, we have Delta. We have all creeds and colors and nationalities.
And didn't you tell Brandon, the technocratic socialist, you told him, so what, you were sitting in a podcast with a free flow in which somebody had accused Luis of being a pedophile, so what's your point?
I think it was they either accused Luis or Scotty of being a pedophile. I can't remember.
They accused like Luis because he showed his dick to me or something.
And they accused Delta.
Probably Scotty. I mean,
He probably accused me of liking young Jewish children. I'm like, what is your problem? No, it wasn't young Jewish children. It was that I show child porn magazines of young Jewish girls in it. I'm like, that's a bunch of crap.
They said that you showed it to Shango.
Yeah, I'm gonna dismiss that. If anyone's watching, that's freaking crap because that never happened. It's like you're basically your child Shawa or something. Never
you have
happened.
to remember, the technocratic socialists in them are known to spread rumors. Like, he was spreading rumors to democratic socialists, the one that he owned Tom in a debate about workers' control.
When did this happen?
If you go on one of his videos, I think it's either how to handle a troll or the troll sets up another account or the Spanish election. You go on the comment section. It's on one of those three. Go on the comment, you'll see that the technocratic socialist said that he owned you in
Oh yeah. I think I know what he's talking about now. Yeah, that was just on one of his videos. I think about like how like a collective society could work. I just had some time to waste, so I figured I could argue with him for a while. But he basically just repeats the same points over and over again.
Okay, so he got wrecked basically because he just repeated himself.
Yeah, like
that's what he did one time. He once claimed that he owned Luis and Scotty, even though that never even happened. All Luis and Scotty did was saw that it was a waste of time arguing with him, so they just stopped.
Yeah, I recall he said that like I don't consider capitalists or owners of property to be human, and I just tell him like grow the fuck up, dude. And he accuses me of being an ageist because of that. Like
I remember that.
Come on, seriously.
The whole Scotty thing. Oh yeah, I think I was a communist at the time, so it was him and I. We were actually really chill at this point before we hated each other's guts. This was before that. I think it was like a few other people. It might have been some of those old freaking butt boys, some of those freaking queers at that point. But we're talking to Luis, and he got on the phone or something like that, like Scotty or something like that. We're sitting here thinking, we're sitting there like, what the? You really got to bring Scotty into this because you can't argue for Jack, like. I was really cool with him at that point until the conservatism came out of the bag or something like that.
Yeah, I heard you guys were friends for like a short time until later on he said that you were a homophobic Christian fundamentalist.
Yeah, or something like that.
So
Well,
you-
he was a real big fan of like Manuel until something about he wasn't into the identity politics, and that just.
Yeah, that's the reason why he also hates Jason Unruh. But it's just that I kind of like this is weird. I find myself agreeing with Jason Unruh at times, but with that attitude of him flagging people's videos just because he gets offended by them, it's no wonder. It's like, how the hell are you going to start a revolution with that attitude?
It's basically what's happened on these college campuses. It's the same thing. Get ass hurt and shut someone down because your feelings are hurt.
The Goyim, no, shut it down.
Not even the Goyim, no. It's just the whole thing. Like, you're basically, instead of them actually having a brain, it's like if they're literally dudes, they literally just turned in their man card. They gave their balls away, and they basically grew a freaking something between.
It's just
How does that reflect on your ideology though? If you have to censor everybody that disagrees with you, I mean, it seems pretty pathetic.
Well, nationalists do it too a lot of times though. Mostly, it's not even like I've seen it. They'll go, "Oh, fascist censor," and yet they do just that. And my own view of that, it's like no. The main reason is to preserve the traditional values of a country, is to get rid of anything like this degenerate.
I guess they don't have a lot of problems with censoring people because it's one of these things that is intrinsic in communism, is the belief that we are doing everything right. We are fighting for the proletariat. We are fighting for the oppressed classes. Therefore, everything we do is moral.
Everything is justified. We oppress Christians, justified.
And therefore, we can censor you if it helps the cause of the abstract notion of the international proletariat.
Yeah, communists are so moral that they want to put children in depraved and traumatizing situations and want to confiscate people's property.
Well, they'll say like they'll cry about how fascists will censor everything, and I'm like, it's like calling the pot. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. I'm basically say like a nationalist like myself. I'm the kettle, and the communist is a pot. He's saying I'm authoritarian and oppressive and intolerant, and I'm like, you're almost the same thing. You're calling me black because freaking stupid reasons, and you're black as well. Why? What's the freaking point here? Calling authoritarian, calling me authoritarian.
Yeah, it seems very often the leftists, they have to set the terms of a debate with somebody else. Like they can't stand that somebody contradicts them on one of their main tenets. You know, you see this a lot in like American political discourse. Like a lot of conservatives, they'll always defer to leftist logic on many things. They're always apologizing, for saying something.
Conservatives, they're just.
That's a British conservative. They're literally just conservatives are cowards.
Strong control that they have to have at all times.
Hey, yeah. It's my birthday.
Hey,
Happy
Luis.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Luis.
Happy birthday.
Birthday means she.
So apparently, I also did research. I also have the same exact birthday as Elvis Presley, Kim Jong-un.
You told us that.
Yeah, and I also found out that I had the same exact birthday of Rand Paul.
Rand Paul K. It's nice. So that's what you've been doing all day, talking about birthdays and celebrating that. That's nice.
You should run for president, Luis. You probably do a lot better than Rand Paul is.
I don't think I'd want to live there, being socially conservative.
Low blow.
Don't go there.
Hey, dude. Speaking about like all this good stuff happening lately. Look how it's only a few days after 2016. We're already into the new year, and look how we've already have militias rising up against federal tyranny.
Much more success than the progressives. They say we're winning socially. That's gonna come back to bite you because I'm seeing a lot of negativity starting to come. That they say there's these evil Christian fundamentalists. I've heard there's more and more of them apparently coming around. I'm like, it's a reaction to your nonsense. So I'm just saying it's Christians waking up. They're like, we're gonna get screwed in this new progressive society because if we don't agree with these people, they're gonna shut us up. And
hey, Delta, remember how the other day you and I were talking about leftist hypocrisy?
Yeah.
Leftist hypocrisy. a couple of right wingers getting mad and rising up against federal tyranny is they should just obey they're white terrorists. They should just obey the orders and stuff. But a bunch of FARC members, Kurdistan Workers Party, and all those other communist militants just stand up.
They can stand up, but the right can't because terrorism. I've seen communists post on that you're a bunch of freaking snake oil merchants at this point.
African Americans can riot and can destroy. African Americans can riot and can destroy several cities, but if like a few white libertarians occupy a building, that's terrorism. That's more dangerous than Al Qaeda.
Well, you know, it's just that ongoing legacy of slavery, Goy. They're just expressing their, oppression of the white systematic elite.
More white guilt.
We need to give them more reparations. You know, we need to try more to assimilate them, and then they won't be so disgruntled.
What's the problem? You got all these retards saying that racism it's systemic or something like that. Man, because you're a stupid hipster freaking moron who doesn't understand politics.
Dude, racism is a disgusting concept, not a fucking institution.
Same with like sexism. Like it's like I've seen these social justice wars, like all this crap. They think we can completely eradicate racism, sexism, homophobia, or any of these other phobia, or any of these other brand labels they come up with. They think we can completely get rid of it. You can't. It doesn't matter if I'm going to say this, fags got the right to marry. There's still going to be people who are against that, like myself. I'm not going to change my mind.
Yeah, well, the one thing is that what a lot of these leftists attribute to, sexism or racism, it's really just, pattern recognition, which is, inherent to human nature, I would argue. It's our ability to recognize patterns in our environment. And to say that, that these patterns that we're recognizing among, the black community or among some other community, to say that this is, discriminatory or it's oppressive, it's just ridiculous. Because it's just,
it's a natural instinct
based on our observations of what's around us.
It's a conspiracy.
Nothing racist about it.
Yeah,
please check your privilege.
Discrimination is actually a kind of natural instinct that our ancestors needed. So, if you see a lion, you run away because you don't want to be eaten. And the same with Islamic terrorism.
Yeah.
You don't want to be bombed.
People run away. Or you don't want to be attacked by like a Russian airstrike. You run away from it.
Yeah, like the other day, Democratic Socialists, so one of them were accusing me of being a racist because me, Soldier 7, Luis, and all of us went on a podcast like responding to Red Scare TV's video where we were talking about why we needed controls on immigration and stuff. And
I remember that.
I think immigration is good for you.
Racist.
Unless you're Israel, then it's okay.
Yeah, of course, there can be a Jewish ethno-state, and there's no Jewish privilege. And remember the 6 trillion, and shut the fuck up, Goy. I'm gonna.
Or I even forgot. What about the Gulf states? I've heard a lot the Gulf states aren't taking any freaking refugees in either.
Yeah,
well,
of
pretty
course.
much no country is apart
can
from
be
Europe.
African.
None of the Arabs.
Israel can be Israeli.
They can be shutouts, but everyone else can't.
China can be Chinese.
The Arabs can be shutouts. Like, actually, to be honest, this is my opinion on the refugee crisis. The Arab states. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say.
America can't be American.
I get your point. Can I speak now?
Goy.
I was going to say this. My opinion on the refugee crisis, the refugees, that's a responsibility of the Arab world to take care of it. They can go to, Libya's a mess. They can go to Egypt, Saudi Arabia. Well, Yemen's also a mess now because there's freaking geopolitics. Maybe like Oman, Qatar, maybe non-ISIS controlled parts of Iraq.
I would argue that Saudi Arabia has more of a responsibility to take these people in because they're the ones who are founding the Free Syrian Army, which is causing all this unrest.
We're getting everything up. It's that the Gulf states, Qatar's part of it. Qatar needs to take them in. Let the Arab world take care of it. It's not our problem.
Our government made a statistic of which groups of people actually came in over the border. It was revealed that only 30% of them come out of the region of crisis, out of 20% out of Syria and 10% out of Iraq. And that are the statistics, the official statistics. You know what I mean? And the rest come from the Balkans.
Some come from Pakistan.
There are some from Mongolia, some from Cuba, some from Vietnam, some
What's with
good chunk
Mongolia
of them
then?
are from Bangladesh.
What's with Mongolia then?
Some of them
They're
are
not communist.
And you know, a good chunk of them are, of course, black, Negro, Syrians. You know, all these
Oh,
dark-skinned people out of Syria.
that
all these
country.
Yeah,
blacks.
yeah. Well, people like
Syria.
John Green would argue that most of those people they're Eritreans and they're just fleeing tyranny in their own countries. Whereas
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty
that
sure
doesn't
most of them aren't Eritreans.
only because they don't want to serve in the military, because most of them men are in the military age and they
They're like
are
men.
mobilized,
Barely any more women and children.
doesn't
It's a
mean they
freaking
have the right to
it's bullcrap.
refuge in Germany.
Yeah.
Don't you find it funny how these European countries are so eager to take in refugees from Syria, but refugees from Ukraine, forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true.
From the Ukraine, I'm pissed off.
I mean, it's.
We need
just,
that cultural enrichment.
Yeah.
Cultural enrichment, yeah, basically.
Also,
Hey, Tom, remember
we
in your
don't want white immigration, and we don't want higher birth rates. We want black immigration.
You know who precisely
Arab
should be
immigration.
taking in every single one of the refugees?
That
Is
you
the country
was
behind the plot that somehow every single strong Arab country that resists this specific country has to fall. Saddam Hussein, Iraq, Libya, Iran every
Libya.
day, now Syria.
I wonder what country that would be.
Oh,
I
you never
Maybe
know.
Georgia.
Georgia.
No, it could be Azerbaijan.
Oh yeah, I've heard bad
I
things
said the
about
Arab
those
world.
Or
It should be
Jordan.
those damn
Lebanon.
Jordanians. You never know.
I said it's the Arab world that should take in the thing, because when they're fellow Arabs, I don't get why they would just disregard them. Like, if I was an
Could
Arab,
be
it'd be like,
Cyprus. I don't know. I think it's Cyprus.
Tajus.
Cyprus.
It was
Yeah, but
Tunisia all along.
Send them in Europe and kill
It's the
all the
Byzantine
European
Empire.
Christians.
Maybe it's America. Maybe it's America, those freaking white imperialist racists.
It was Christmas Island.
Christmas.
Pitcairn
Maybe it
Island.
was. Maybe it was
It's
Christmas
a Pitcairn
Island.
Island conspiracy.
It could be the Jews. No one knows. Oh wait. Sorry, this is 2016. Need to stop being racist.
It could
Whoa,
be
stop being
Whoops.
anti-Semite data.
Whoops. Wah, wah.
We are
The
going
next thing you know,
Remember
you're
the
gonna
6
say,
billion.
for all this
the next thing you know, you're gonna
anti-Semitic
say that
hatred.
ISIS stands for Israeli Secret Intelligence Services.
Racism now. Conspiracy. Grabs tinfoil hat. Puts it on head.
Conspiracy.
There's gonna be they're gonna start saying we're all anti-Semitic and racist. I know it. All the commies are
Of course.
racist.
I'm the last person you actually want to call an anti-Semite.
I'm the same. Basically, I'm basically be one of the ones who are the same. Like same.
People can call me whatever they want, but
It doesn't change.
anybody
anything.
whatever they want. But if they see the facts, they can't deny it.
The more they overuse these words like racist, anti-Semite, sexist, the more
Nazi,
they just lose their
fascist,
power to
racist.
refer to anything real.
Oh, anti-Semite? I've seen that a
White
lot.
supremacist.
Can I tell the story of the anti-Semite thing?
Sure.
Because I've seen that term. I was like, because of course, like a while back, I was like in a few of these ultra-Zionist kind of things. They're saying anything that disagreed with them was anti-Semitic almost. I'm thinking, holy shit, these people are stupid. Anything. The opposite of people, anti-Semitism.
Delta openly supports Israel, and they're still gonna call him an anti-Semite.
Yeah, because I knew a few friends who were like nationalists, like third positionists and for stuff. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Freaking, that's anti-Semitic? Fuck you. Literally. I'm like, that's it? Seriously? I'm anti-Semitic now? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much anything that like doesn't conform to this whole group evolutionary strategy is anti-Semitic.
Hey, Delta, did the technocratic socialist call you a Holocaust denier?
He said he wouldn't be surprised that I would deny the Holocaust, which I don't. I'm like, see, you can't tread water
who
here.
would deny the Holocaust, the murder of 6 million Jews by gas chambers and stuff?
It's 6 trillion now.
6 trillion?
6 trillion.
They just
by
raised the
magical
number.
German ovens.
The German ovens. We may want to be careful now because we may get shut down because we think we know too much.
Okay,
Yeah, they gassed them with all
let's
that
change the
non-lethal
topic.
Zyklon B gas that was used to delouse people's clothes.
Is that what Zyklon B was used for? Wow.
Yeah, it was a.
Yeah, there was a typhus.
It was a delousing product.
Oh
It
yeah,
was-
there was disease, so they had to cut clean.
Whoa! That
course you
goes
gotta-
way too far. You know.
Yeah,
we-
we're going too far.
Basically, Benjamin Netanyahu is basically sitting at his computer right now, in Tel Aviv listening to us because we triggered him so much.
Well,
That's not the
one thing-
capital.
The one thing I just have to add about this before we change the topic for obvious reasons is that I was reading a book called Eichmann in Jerusalem a while ago by Hannah Arendt, and it's essentially just it talks about Adolf Eichmann's trial by the Israeli government shortly after World War II. Are you all familiar with
wasn't
Adolf
it in
Eichmann?
1961?
Oh, the whole trial? Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, well, basically during Adolf Eichmann's trial, he made up, like, he knew what the Jews wanted to hear. He knew that he was going to be found guilty no matter what he said. The whole thing was just a show trial. So he basically just took these people for a ride. He made up all this random shit that could never have happened. Like, one thing he said is like that he witnessed this massive burial of all these corpses, and then the blood squirted out of the ground like a ghoulish fountain. Those were his exact words. And like they all just took this and ran with it. So it just goes to show like this eagerness to believe even the most ridiculous, implausible stories.
Yeah,
so,
I'd say there's
what
exaggeration
else can
with
be
it.
held up to scrutiny?
Yeah.
There's extreme exaggeration now.
I don't want to deny the Holocaust, of course, because it's kind
Yeah,
of
I know
illegal
for
in
you,
some
you're getting in
countries.
a bad position.
Nobody here is denying the
obvious
Holocaust,
reasons,
just
of
for the
course,
record.
because we got to thank our overlords of
Yeah, nobody's
certain
denying the
ethnicity
Holocaust here.
for liberating us, of course. But most of the people that said after the war that said that 4 million people were murdered in Auschwitz or something like that, they were horribly tortured. Like Rudolf Höss, the commander of Auschwitz, he was terribly tortured to the point where he said he would have told them anything to stop it.
Yeah.
And he told them 3 million people died there.
I actually read an article on how
Who got
the Allies
castrated?
actually tortured the concentration camp guards and actually crushed their testicles. Like
Shit.
crushed them, not kicked them in the groin, crushed
You know,
their testicles.
When the Americans reached Dachau, they just massacred all the concentration camp guards, because they thought that the Germans had tortured them. Came out, the Allies bombed all the transportation ways for the food, and no food reached the camp, and the prisoners starved. It wasn't because of the Germans torturing it.
Yeah, well,
The same in
war
Bergen-Belsen,
is hell.
all the
War is
other
pretty
camps
shitty.
in the
It's-
normal Reich.
War is pretty gritty no matter what happens.
I mean,
Almost
you
no matter
can,
what side.
you
it's
can argue
gritty.
about Auschwitz, but there were no mass killings inside the borders of the Reich. In Poland, the mass killings were supposedly held, and the
Oh, because
Jews
Poland,
murdered.
they didn't give a crap about Poland, that's why.
But in Dachau or Bergen-Belsen, there is no proof of mass killings. And
That was
this
like labor and
this,
stuff.
This is an established fact. The German historian said that in the 80s. The Institute for Zeitgeschichte, the Institute for Time and History, so to say.
Oh,
said that
probably,
in the
I'd say
80s
this all the
already.
stuff in Germany is probably like labor.
But
Just
they
labor.
still show like a shower room in I believe it's Dachau, where it is like gas chamber, never used as gas chamber, because we gotta have this mandatory gas chamber in there somehow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of exaggeration. Even with like the Holodomor, there's all kinds of exaggeration to make it look bigger than it is.
So
Well, I mean,
let's
even
continue.
even if we take all the supposed information about the Holocaust to be completely true, like the things that the Soviets did were way worse than anything Nazi Germany did. Even
When they
Imperial
entered the
Japan.
Reich for the first time in Nemmersdorf, they massacred the entire population, just the entire village, with axes, raped the women to death, and castrated the French and Polish POWs in the village.
Yeah, there was a mass rape of German women by the Soviets.
Yeah, and they deported 50 million Germans just for being German. Most of them didn't even have anything to do with the war, weren't members of the Nazi Party or the army. They deported 2 million Germans from the Volga, most of them were communists, and to Siberia, where most of them starved to death or were killed. They deported 3 million Poles from Eastern Europe and shoved them into that miniature Poland that we have today. They destroyed huge parts of the German economy by taking industry apart and taking it to Russia, where it was never used in most cases. And they did giant crimes, and then
Yeah, let's not forget like the bombing of Dresden and the bombing of Frankfurt and Hamburg and all those other places where millions of innocent civilians were burned to death.
Oh, you know how you guys were talking about the Holodomor and the Holocaust? Me and Luis watched this video of some lady who lived through the Holodomor. She was a Jewish Ukrainian woman, but she also lived in Nazi Germany during the Holocaust. And she said that the Holodomor was a lot worse than the Holocaust.
Well, yeah, because the communists, I've noticed what they do with how they tie to fascists committed all these crimes is because they're trying to distract people from the crimes they commit because they want to look like they did nothing.
What is also very telling is that there's a big flaw in the thinking of leftists. You know, when the Germans first arrived in Ukraine, in the Baltics, in parts of Belarusia, they had literally no resistance from the population. They greeted them. They gave them flowers and bread. They gave them flowers. They gave them food. They gave
especially in the Baltic states, like Lithuania and Latvia.
Yeah, and
it was pretty much full cooperation with the Nazis.
And that was because the Soviets, of course, led by a certain minority, you know,
mainly Stalin,
bureaucrats, they placed. You know, they massacred the populations there and then placed ethnic Russians in there. The population, for example, of Donetsk, of this Donbas region, came in there after the Holodomor. They massacred the Ukrainians and put it in ethnic Russians. And when there was a nationalist rebellion, they would use the Russians to destroy it. And that's why, you know, these minorities were terribly.
Well, that's what the whole Ukraine thing.
That's why they greeted the Germans when they arrived.
Yeah.
It was no socialist paradise.
And you know, they probably would have stayed with the Germans had Hitler not, or the Einsatzgruppen not massively exterminated a lot of people there.
Yeah. That was kind of. Yeah.
Oh, Tom, you know how earlier you said something about how Stalin was worse than Hitler? Didn't Brandon, the technocratic socialist, also get like triggered by that in the comment section of Luis's video?
Oh yeah, I'm sure the guy like worships Stalin. He probably has a picture of him by his bedside that he like looks at before he goes to bed every night.
Or he has it on his ceiling.
I don't want to be like defend Hitler on anything. I don't want to be like a Hitler defender on anything. But a lot of the deaths that are attributed to him, not in the Holocaust. I'm not talking about the Holocaust, but
not the Shoah, not the
exaggerated because Poland has a good chunk of the fall for World War II. Great Britain has a good chunk of the fall for World War II. France has a great chunk of the fall for World War II because of Versailles, because of the suppression of German minorities, because of taking away Germany's colonies, destroying the economy, and so on.
It goes back to the Treaty of Versailles and the way that Germany was treated after World War I.
They just cut off historic provinces in the east and west from Germany and destroy the colonial empire, and then aren't expecting that something big is hitting them back a few years later, which was National Socialism.
Yeah.
World War II started in Versailles.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's change topics about this real quick, because, I'm pretty sure Netanyahu is listening at this point.
Yeah, we don't want to trigger anybody now, so let's move on.
Yeah, so, what do you guys think about this, Obama's whole thing? He's going after gun. He's trying to chip away at the Second Amendment. He's trying to get an executive order passed that passes all these insane restrictions on firearm ownership. And since you guys are Americans, I'm specifically talking about Ethan, Delta USA, and Manuel. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it's going to get passed?
It's leftist retardation, dude.
Don't want our guns.
Dude, I've heard leftists say we need more. This idiot was a feminist too. This was back in my first semester. But apparently we should have more gun control. I was thinking are you freaking stupid? You think we can get the whole thing end? They want to end rape culture, yet they want to take away guns.
Yeah.
It's like you want women to be disarmed, but yet you claim to not be a misogynist.
Yeah, the way that they're trying to pass this, it seems to me, is they're trying to go after the like the mental illness edge. Like they're saying like, oh, we need to have more extensive background checks on prospective firearm owners. But that just seems ridiculous to me, because the people that you're gonna buy guns to defend yourself against are the very people who are not going to stand for, you know, increased regulation of firearm ownership. Do you see people like? Do you see a bunch of like Crips and Bloods lining up at like the federal office to get a firearm
No,
background check?
you don't see all the gang
It's
members
absurd.
going over there.
You don't see like all the niggers
Check
and
the
like
gun
spits
laws.
going. No, they go to the black market and get it. If that comes to that point, I might as well just do that at that case.
Yeah, Dindus don't get background checks.
Dude, they go to the black market and get a hold of guns illegally or through some gang or something like that. It's like these terrorists, they get it. It's not this freaking. It's retarded. You can.
And plus, let's take a look at Chicago, for example. Ever since now that we've been allowing guns and allowing people to have their concealed and stuff, our crime rate has actually been going down slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got these guns kill crime rate basically. That's the only thing guns kill, crime rate.
Yep.
What stops this perpetual rape culture? The lefties like to crab out.
If the French had guns, they could have stopped those ISIS bastards.
Well, I know that happened in Texas. They tried attacking in Texas. Look what happened.
Yeah.
Didn't stand a chance.
There was that Draw Muhammad exhibition where a bunch of like ISIS members got wasted by the federal marshals. That was great. I want stuff like that.
I don't hear they did it in California. Were successful because California, of course, is a freaking liberal hellhole. Ban guns. Like look what happened in California. Terrible. If it happened in Arizona, I guarantee you they would have got shot before they even entered the door.
Did you guys hear supposedly that Obama was crying during the speech? What a fucking faker.
Oh yeah, that was pathetic. to see a national leader crying over gun control. Like, could you imagine a self-respecting leader? Like, okay, I'm not defending Putin or anything, but could you imagine Putin, who is like widely regarded as a strong leader, crying over gun control? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Dude, if I were like some like Mussolini just sitting there and I heard about this, I'd be like, bomb the fuck out of ISIS, get them out of here. They're terrible. Like, just waste them. I don't care how you do it. Just
completely eradicate them.
Waste them. I don't care how you do it. Even if it is brutal and all the left, you start crying about it. I'm gonna like, honest, I got destroyed.
Imagine Hitler crying.
We need to unleash the right-wing death squads on them.
Hey, Delta, remember when you told Mason that he cucks for his enemies?
He does. He defends like Islam. Like even when, dude, he's freaking like bi. The Muslims, they'd have him hanging within like, because Sharia law and all that. They'd have him. He'd be dead if they threw him to ISIS. He'd be thrown off a rooftop because he's bi.
Oh, yeah. He would get the drowning treatment.
It's kind of like this. The left is just defending capitalism as, or what you libertarians would call corporatism at this point. You know, they defend Islam, therefore, you know, they defend cultural enrichment. They defend all these immigration policies, which are actually, you know, supported by big companies to lower wages and to weaken the trade unions. But still, they cry, refugees welcome, get all the immigrants in. What is wrong with diversity? Yeah, you know the people that actually work, so not, you know, leftists, are gonna suffer under that. The working class is gonna suffer under that.
Well, I find the cognitive dissonance of these people to be incredible, because like in the same breath they'll talk about how we need like gay rights, we need to accept feminism more, but yet they'll also say like we need to take in more Muslim immigrants and that Islam is a religion of peace. Like you can't have it both ways, guys.
That's a contradiction. I've seen it.
We had this like with the Central Committee of the Jews in Germany recently, where they said on the one side they cried about how like we Germans are supposedly like discriminatory against all migrants, and yeah, we gotta be more accepting of refugees and so on. And on the other side, then they like 2 weeks later they cried about how all these migrants are anti-Semites.
I wonder why they come from an area where they want to kill Jews. Like, it's just take them back to freaking Middle East.
You gotta decide.
Yeah, Arabs are the biggest anti-Semites of all.
You know,
well, there's been a rivalry between those two races for ages.
Like Syrian schools that you know the Jews were treacherous to Germany, and therefore you know Hitler threw them out of the country and so on. You know, these Arabs are kind of like.
That's the very thing they hate. They're the very thing they hate.
To say it lightly, they are them. They are anti-Semite.
They're the
They
very
are big
thing they hate.
anti-Semites.
The very thing that Jews don't like. I've heard a lot of Jews leaving certain areas in Britain because of all the migrants.
Yeah, and did you know that Mein Kampf is a bestseller in the Middle East?
Oh yeah, I knew that for a long time. It's just a thing. It's a rivalry they have. Like it's how blacks and whites. There's black people who want to kill a whitey and things like that. And it's like certain races have rivalries. Jews and Arabs hate each other. It's like blacks and whites in America hate each other. Well, not all of them, but there is a rivalry because of like the whole slavery and sheet.
Well,
Blacks hate whites.
I wouldn't call it a rivalry per se. I would just call it like friction.
Yeah, I mean, both Arabs and Jews are Semites, but they still hate each other because
over territorial.
The Jews hate the Goyim, and the Arabs hate the infidel. So they're gonna hate each other, of course.
The infidel because Islam and the greater world caliphate. It's like you people think they're gonna stop at one country. They want to. A lot of these extremists they want to overrun everyone and make them all under Sharia law and stuff like. This isn't gonna quit. This will go on for a while until that extreme wing is destroyed, which it probably won't happen because, well, they're gonna pop up again. After World War II, we defeated fascism. Look at here, it's not dead.
I'll be right back. I have to go to water.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Anything on the technocratic socialist? This little queer.
This little queer right here.
This little queer faggot.
God, I need this Bane drop that the Daily Show uses. Of course.
Hey, Delta, didn't you once say that you know how Democratic Socialist one blames me for everything? Didn't you say that the Technocratic Socialist will blame you for everything?
Oh, he gets mad at me, or he'll just blame Christianity for a bunch of dumb shit. It's like they're freaking retarded, freaking tinfoil hat, fedora tip. Fuck, I don't even know what they are. Their tinfoil hat literally is a fedora, and they tip this thing like every 2 seconds because they're stupid. Oh no. Brandon's a Satanist, I think, too, so that's why he hates God, and he blasphemes God, Christianity, and all this stuff. It's like...
I think Brandon just
don't tell me
love.
I'm going to hell. I'm going to tell you are, because look why you're acting. So, goodbye.
It's like you could tell anybody who trolls somebody on Christmas clearly has no life.
He's a lifeless fool. He thinks, I'm smart because I don't believe in Christianity, and here's the irony. The irony is all these leftists, I'm even going to pick on Sargon here, they think we're rational and logical and educated. In reality, they're the ones who are the idiots. All the idiots are almost on the left. It's irony.
All the countries, it always leads them down the drain.
Basically. Look at the Russians. Now they want nothing to do with it. Look how now they're like hyper-conservative and they're like, we don't want faggots, we don't want queers, we don't want dykes, we don't want none of this. Get out of here. We don't want trannies, we don't want this. Apparently pedophilia is like a thing that's there though too. That's what West is so degenerate. Actually, I was looking on this is like a Wikipedia article. But it's like, Brandon them support child porn and crap.
Yeah.
Russia allows that shit. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, Russia. Like Canada's degenerate, literally supports something degenerate. Okay. And Belarus too. I was like, oh well.
Ugh.
God, I'm like, and Flo wants this all around the world, and Flo wants this legalized in the West.
Yeah, because that's pervert.
Did you just say that child pornography was legal here in Canada?
Russia.
It's not.
In the Russian Federation, it is.
Well, what did you say about Canada though?
I didn't say anything about Canada. I said how Flo wants to legalize that crap in the Western world.
He didn't say nothing about Canada. He was a good boy.
I didn't say anything about Canada. I was just talking about how the free flow once it legalized, it'll stop pedophilia. It's like it's not gonna do jack. It's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, like
adding fuel to the fire. Like you're adding fuel to the fire here, boy. You're not doing anything. Keep trying though. It's just like John Green. Just let refugees flood from everywhere and just destroy everything. So, okay, because diversity quotas.
Crazy with my debit card. I don't know what the heck's going on.
Amazon's full of perversions. Yeah, I buy from Amazon. I'm kidding. It's like Amazon's this. Wait. Amazon can be really screwed up. Some things are eligible for 2-day shipping, some are not. Because like Prime, I'm like, you gotta be retarded here. Fuck.
Well, I mean, try buying stuff in Canada, man. Because like, pretty much everything on Amazon.ca, which is like the Canadian Amazon, is like 20% more expensive, and pretty much like about half of everything on American Amazon doesn't even ship here, and the things that do cost way more in shipping. So, you know, Canadian problems, right?
Yeah, first world problems.
Yeah.
Well, that's the main problem I have with like these.
So
like,
how
these
much is a
SJWs.
bottle of maple syrup in Canada?
It depends what brand.
How many cuck shekels does it cost? I
Well,
don't know what your guys' currency is. Here in
Canadian
America,
dollar.
we pay for
Canadian
everything
dollar.
in freedoms.
Isn't it?
It's called the Canadian dollar.
yeah, the Canadian dollar has actually hit like an all-time low. I think it's worth like 69 cents US, which is just abysmal.
dude.
Oh,
glory of
hey,
fiat
we're doing better
currency.
than you right now. We're doing better than you right now.
Glory of fiat currency.
A lot of people are attributing it to the fact that Justin Trudeau was just elected prime minister, and a lot of businesses are pulling out their investments in Canada, and that's why our dollar.
You
is
should
so
employ
weak.
more merchants to fix up your currency.
All you really need is gold and silver, and there you go.
Well, actually,
Way
it's not as bad as you sound. It's not as bad as it sounds, because the thing is, with a really weak dollar, like what we have right now, it basically makes Canadian exports more attractive to foreign investors. So if like the amount of if the GDP increase by the increase in our Canadian exports outweighs the lack of purchasing power of having a really shitty dollar, then it's not going to be so bad. But
I've seen Europeans like the euros are so great when America falls. We're gonna no. The euro depends almost on the U.S. though. Like the euro's awful. It's even worse than the U.S. dollar even.
The euro is just a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like terrible.
I don't know. I think that in the future there's gonna be a kind of battle of currencies between the euro and the US dollar.
Well, people think Europe's gonna
Because
rise over America.
Europe
No, this is the
kinda
world
has a big
economy.
And in some aspects it's more stable than the US economy. Because we don't have that much of big bubbles around that explode every time one of your chosen people's bankers does something wrong or wants more profit.
Where
You know?
freaking currencies, like, it's a bunch of countries have it, so if, like, Germany, and it hits the freaking toilet, Spain's gonna hit the toilet, and a bunch of countries are gonna go down, because...
I don't think that
it's chained
Germany
up.
is gonna hit the toilet. We didn't really hit the toilet in 2008, so I don't think we're gonna hit the toilet now.
Well, dude, here's the thing, though. We're in a world economy, so if let's just say, like, the U.S. or China crashes, everyone is getting pulled under with that. Everybody's
I don't
gonna
know.
get hit with it.
If China crashes, that means their export
America's
volume
done.
is
Yeah,
going
America's
down.
going down the
And
drain
we are
with
the
it.
second largest exporter in the world, so Germany would basically profit a bit from China falling down as a
Well,
big
America would
exporter.
collapse itself because we're kind of stuck with them, so it's like, oh, we're going down with them then.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
a world
there's-
economy, though. It's a global economy now, so a lot of things are connected, so...
There's not going to be like a full economic collapse, like a lot of people are thinking. It's
Yeah,
going to be more
it
like a
could
gradual
happen.
decline.
It's probably gonna be like 2008, but you know, bigger.
It's gonna be bigger. It could get worse. It could be the Great Depression times 50 trillion. Who knows? Nobody knows what it's gonna be.
No, I don't think it's going to be one single cataclysmic event that like ends U.S. Hegemony. It's going to be like a series of small events that
Yeah,
just chip away at it.
the Roman Empire didn't fall in one day.
Yeah.
Ah, of course it didn't. It took a lot of things.
Neither did the Ottoman Empire, the Chinese Empire. No empire fell in one day.
Yeah, well, I think what we're
The
witnessing
Great
right
Depression
now
was the
is,
same. They didn't happen. It was just like it took a while for like the amazing economy growth, and something happened, and it triggered. It went.
well, I mean, right now,
There's a
I would
build-up to
argue that we're witnessing like the slow, gradual decline of the U.S. right now. And
I don't think anyone's gonna rise. It'll probably be China, but not Europe as a whole. It's gonna be China that's gonna replace it.
whoever it is, it's not going to be for quite a while.
I think that out of the rubble of the USA, I guess Russia will take a part, China will take a part, and Germany and Britain are going to replace, the USA as the hegemonic power in Europe. Because Germany has the strongest economy of Europe, and Britain has a lot of influence too in Europe. And
Britain has a
second
pound,
largest.
so
Britain is
it's
the second largest economy, if I remember correctly. It could be France, but I think it's Britain. It's Britain.
It's definitely gonna be the Chinese, because the Chinese are like one of the biggest.
And
I guess I get to enjoy being Europe.
We
doing
Germans kind of follow U.S. foreign policy because, we were occupied by the U.S. and we had a foreign system enforced on us. But with the US falling away, we could probably see a return of Germany as a political actor on the world stage.
It's not gonna be like the German Empire though, so don't get excited.
It kind of depends on the leadership that we are gonna have. If we have the current leadership, then it's basically gonna be like the US, enforcing democracy on Europe and the world. Bringing liberal democracy and so on.
Actually, democracy's shit. I'm sorry to say that.
Alfred, you're in Germany, so can you clear this up for me? Because here in Canada, and I'm guessing in the U.S. as well, most of the news that we receive about Germany's response to the migrant crisis is that, the majority of Germans are, they're accepting the migrants, they're happy to, be culturally enriched and paused, but I've read other sources that indicate that, the majority of Germans are actually really pissed off, and there's a lot of people going around burning down migrant shelters and stuff. So can you?
There were 900 attacks on migrant shelters this year.
Yeah, what would you say is like the ratio of people who accept the migrants to the people who don't accept them?
When it comes to just sentiments, then it's probably a 50-50. We had a statistic that was like 45% or so are critical of the migrant crisis or so, something. So it's around 50%. But when it comes to parties, a good chunk of the people are still, that normal frame of parties, which means that a lot of people are going to be social democrats, a lot of people are going to be basic bitch conservatives. And many people feel that because of what Germany did in the past, they can't really openly engage in politics.
Yeah.
For example, that plus the media saying that, oh no, we are all accepting of diversity, which we are. I mean, 900 attacks on migrant shelters and the rise of nationalist parties, especially in the east of the country, that doesn't sound like a lot of acceptance.
Yeah, and from what I hear, the current German government is trying to shut down the NPD, which is like the one viable nationalist party in the country.
Yeah,
my guess is that like in the coming years, when people understand that they don't really have any options to resist this like degeneracy and cultural enrichment, they're probably going to return. They're going to turn to alternate means, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To try and change the regime.
The media has done a smear campaign against the NPD for 20 years now, since reunification, because the NPD itself is just a nationalist party with different, groups in it. They have national conservatives, a more national syndicalist type of people. They have socialists in them that think nationalist. They have some Hitler worshippers, of course, and they have been building this image that this is the big neo-Nazi party. And from that standpoint on, everybody has tried to get them banned. But, the law doesn't really equate to that. They didn't get them banned in the last few years. And now with the refugee crisis, few more people are gonna go towards this direction.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've just seen in the recent France election how the other parties tried to shut down any option of the National Front trying to get in power. So I could only imagine how hard the other parties are shilling in Germany right now against the NPD.
Yeah. I actually had a discussion with a relative about that whole topic, and my relative made a good point. If there wasn't like this whole guilt narrative about World War II and stuff, then there would be as many Germans voting for the AfD, for example, so the asylum critical party in Germany, as there are French people voting Front National, because basically the national guilt holding back the Germans, that every nationalism means exterminating the Jews or something. No, that's the only factor holding us back, because we have been indoctrinated.
Yeah, it's this thing where they say, "Oh, Germans did this, and all Germans are Nazis, and now you guys are forced to accept."
Totally ignoring the fact that the nationalists were the biggest group in the resistance to Hitler as well, and that before World War II, every German politician was basically fighting for Germany, from the Social Democrats, the Communists, the National Socialists, the Conservatives, the Liberals. Everyone was patriotic and nationalist, not only the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
But just ignore that because it doesn't fit our anti-nationalist narrative.
Did you see that video I did called Angela Merkel Gazes into the Abyss?
Yeah.
All right.
I saw you liked one.
Soldier7, I just noticed you joined. How's it going?
Hey Tom, how's it going? Sorry I'm late.
Oh, you're
don't-
late, you freaking
don't
Donnie.
worry about it,
Damn
man.
it, Donnie, you're freaking late.
I just had some supper, so yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Welcome to Shitposting.
What'd you have for supper?
Chicken piccata.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Very good. Chicken,
Yeah.
lemons, and capers and shit.
I'm
Oh,
stuck
this
with
is-
like beer and potatoes, so
Beer and potatoes. Are you Irish or something? Oh, laddie, is that another potato famine?
I am Irish actually.
Hey,
Hey, where's the pot of gold, leprechaun? Nah, you're small, so it's impossible for you to be a leprechaun. You're 6'4".
I mixed it with my Jew gold.
Oh.
Well, apparently in Boston, your people and my people don't get along. They always get into game fights in Boston.
Oh man, the Irish don't get along with anybody. Even the Irish, they're constantly at each other.
Even like Boston Irish and people from Ireland fight. Shit.
There's a reason why Irish are called Negroes from Europe. They fight each other.
Irish gangs and Italian gangs always kill each other in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Chicago it was the Italian mafia versus the Irish mafia.
Or it's Dindus killing each other.
Yeah, that's how it is now.
They kick our ass in Boston, but we kick their ass in New York.
Well,
yeah,
actually, like the Irish for a long time, like in the 19th century, were actually an oppressed group in the United States. So I mean,
They were
that's true.
if I go bring down a CVS pharmacy and rob a liquor store, does that mean I get a free pass? Because like it's like the legacy of it's the ongoing legacy of anti-Irish discrimination there. So,
Well, Irish fought on both the Confederate and the Union side of the Civil War too.
but actually, no. There's an interesting thing about that. It's because the Irish they actually supported the Confederacy, and when after the Civil War, there was a group called the Fenians who were like a bunch of like Irish Confederate discontents, and they actually tried to invade Canada. There was a huge war here between the Canadian government and the Fenians. It's actually pretty interesting. The Canadian government won, of course, but if they didn't, I'm sure Canada would look a lot different than it is today.
Probably part of Burgerland. Who knows?
I remember that. We have a statue of a famous Union officer who like advised the Canadians on that incident.
Yeah.
I forget his name. I think it's an American colonel. I forget his name, but like he helped the Canadians. He warned the Canadians about them. So I forget his name. Colonel John something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But that war actually happened like right when Canada was given its independence from Britain in 1867. So that was the first war that Canada ever fought, where it was led by Canadian generals, and so it's a huge part of like Canadian national identity.
Yeah. You guys played a big role at the Somme in World War I.
Oh yeah, actually, we played a huge part in World War I. There was Vimy Ridge, there was the Second Battle of Ypres, and during the 100 Days Offensive, the Canadian soldiers actually gained more land than any other army.
The Somme, yeah, you guys were involved in the Somme.
Yeah.
We didn't get involved till Bella Wood.
Yeah, not till 1917.
That's where the U.S. Marines got the name Devil Dogs, because of Bella Wood.
Mm-hmm. And the Argonne Forest, the Americans.
Damn it, all these eternal Anglos.
Because
eternal Anglos.
Because the Germans thought the U.S. Marines were like the very dogs from hell.
All right, so let me talk about. Let's just shift this conversation to something I'm sure we're all familiar with.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
I have mixed feelings about him. I have mixed feelings about him.
I like him because he's politically incorrect. He doesn't give a fuck about what the media says about him.
He does two positive things. He pushes the political discussion towards more nationalist, patriotic, right-wing topics, and he pulled some people that were disenfranchised with politics into the debate. You know,
Yeah, I've heard a lot of lefties cry about him.
a lot of voters for Trump are people that never voted because they weren't interested in politics, and now they're, so to say, in the race.
Yeah.
I got mixed feelings about him.
Explain.
Well, I mean, there are certain things he says I agree with, but there's certain things I don't agree with. Now, being that said, if I had to pick between Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, you damn know I'm going to pick Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Or,
Is it his immigration policies that you don't agree with?
Well, yeah, like, I'm against illegal immigration, but his form of how to stop it, I don't agree with. Like, my idea of coming to this country is, I think as long as you can speak English and you're not carrying any diseases like Ebola or shit like that, then you can come on in.
But what if you have a population that's like explicitly antagonistic to U.S. interests? Like they scream "Death to America" in one sentence, and in the same breath they'll be like, "Oh, let us into your country." Like how would you deal with somebody like that?
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I totally agree with Trump on how to deal with that certain thing, but I'm just talking about like the basic people that just want to like just come on in.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, yeah.
But
I consider myself to be pretty liberal on immigration. Actually, it's just that if you have like a group of people, namely radical Muslims who want to cause discord in your country and they're ideologically opposed to our values, then I think it's not entirely inappropriate to say that we don't really want you in our country.
I agree. That part I agree. That's why I was going to say, yes, I do agree an investigation should take place in that situation.
Yeah, but you guys are still racist for believing that, according to most leftists.
Yeah, you're apparently a freaking racist, man. Shit.
Okay, if it was a bunch of white Muslims who screamed "Death to Canada," then I would feel the same way.
There's a lot of white Muslims in Bosnia.
Well, that's because they're Euros. That's why white Bosnian Muslims and shit. Fuck them.
Yeah, and in Britain too, from what I see.
Oh, great. Yeah, Britain's getting.
Did you see? Have any of you seen that picture of? I think I used it in my Migrant Fest 2016 video. It's like that red-haired Muslim guy.
Do you think I could?
Britain has a lot of teachers of like Muslim teachers and those hardcore Muslim intellectuals that are basically funded by Saudi Arabia. So a lot of the white people that stay in the cities, which are flooded by foreigners in the UK, convert to Islam.
Hey, can I play your Migrant Fest 2016? It's hilarious.
Well, like Europe, I don't think like the Middle Eastern Muslim refugees are the biggest problem when it comes to immigration for the United States. I think the biggest problem are the Latin American drug cartels who want to spread
to the south. It's the problem mainly. I know for Europe it's the freaking Muslims and crap, but for America it's to the south.
Yeah, it's the Latin America.
But like the only solution that I see to like Latin American immigration is to build a wall, because no matter what you do, you're going to have these people who are going to try to get through the border. And
that is very xenophobic, Tom. I'm getting tired of your racism.
Apparently, people think also it damages the environment because of natural stuff. It was it hurts the environment.
Well, these people who come to the country, the Latin Americans, they damage the environment when they come in here because they leave their trash all over the place.
Oh, that happened in Europe. I saw that. At first, I was thinking, oh, these freaking lefties are idiots. And now I see them like, they're trashing the freaking countries. No wonder people are pissed off, especially the Hungarians. I don't blame them.
That's insane.
Yeah. There's no wonder why Austria, you can't buy a gun there because they're all sold out.
Or about, I'd say, my opinion, Hungary is pretty based on this issue. They just built a fence and said no one's coming in. I don't care what the EU says. You're not allowed in.
Actually,
a lot of Eastern Europe's done. A lot of Eastern Europe.
I really have to commend the Poland government because they just elected a nationalist party.
Yeah, the National Conservative Justice and
yeah,
Poland's
so
basically
I have to say that the future looks bright for Poland right now.
They don't allow queers in the freaking. They don't like queers. They don't like. Oh my
gosh. National conservative as a national conservatism?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not that kind of conservative. I'm an Evan Burke type conservative.
I see this as a double-edged sword because, on the one side, I support them, kind of reducing the influence of the Soviet Union and the big dildo that is shoved in their asshole. But on the other hand, these are like hardcore people who want one of these guys called everyone in Silesia like a folkish German. And there are still big national minorities in the country, like the Germans that stayed, that weren't like killed, raped, or deported to Germany.
They should get
and
Western
a
Ukraine
lot
and
of
Western Belarus
Ukrainians
back.
in the east. And I hope that there are no pogroms against these national minorities.
Yeah.
Well, when they go full hardcore on nationalist kind of stuff.
Me and Charlie were talking about that, aka "Give me freedom, give me liberty." We were talking about that. What you were just talking about in Germany. Like, we think of like the Bavarians, who seem to be the only Germans that are telling them to shove it. We're suggesting that Bavaria needs to either claim independence or become part of Austria.
No. We need a new government in Germany, and then we should go full right.
Anschluss. You should just go full Anschluss.
All of Europe into a greater Germanic empire, TBH, fam.
Yeah. I know, but it just seems like Bavarians are just very different from other Germans. Like, they tend to do business differently.
Well, Bavaria is one of the Catholic state provinces.
Bavaria
right?
is very Catholic, very conservative. It has always been that way, and they are the gate to Germany at the moment, through which all Muslims come through. That is why they have been so hardcore on immigration. But there are other parts in Germany, like in Eastern Germany, in Saxony and in Mecklenburg, Pomerania, where they are also very conservative, very nationalist even. Because
I heard
the region's economies aren't that good, and these regions have to take in enormous amounts of Muslims. For example, a village with 200
I read
people
about
there
that.
had to take in 1,000 refugees.
Aren't there some towns in Germany where locals are being forced out of their homes to accommodate these refugees?
I have heard of a case.
Or like Sharia. These people can establish Sharia or something like that.
I have heard of a case in Eastern Berlin where that happened, and where a woman was supposedly forced out because the government would pay her, the guy who owned the house more when he took in refugees. But otherwise, I haven't heard like real sounding things
Well, here in Canada, there's a huge effort by the new Liberal government to take in more refugees, and actually a lot of Canadian companies, Maple Leaf being one of them, which is like a meat packing company, they've pledged that they're going to hire, like a couple thousand new refugees. Like, we have like a huge problem of unemployment here in Canada, and yet they're bending over backwards to hire a bunch of foreigners.
A bunch of dindus and shit, man.
Over actual locals. It's appalling.
Of course, and leftists are going to defend it, although it lowers the standard of living for the working class when there's a bigger supply of labor, because wages are going to fall.
Yeah, exactly. Scotty M explained this in one of his videos of why he was also supporting UKIP because of all the limited immigration. He talked about supply and demand, what Alfred pretty much just said right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, another reason is because in order to get the Gibbs debts to the native population, namely Social Security and Medicare in the U.S., you have to have an ever-increasing an amount of people being born or imported into the country to keep the system viable. It's a Ponzi scheme. So if you have like a declining birth rate, like what we see in Canada and many Western countries today, then that system's not going to be viable, and we have to import lots of dindus and aloe snack bars to make up for it.
We got 3 dislikes on the freaking video, and I know who did it.
It's probably Democratic Socialists.
Yeah, the freaking butt boys came over and disliked it. Well, they can't chat or anything. That's good. So
Well,
they
this
can't
is not what daily, but morons that I
Shut the fuck up, Luis. You interrupted me. Fuck up, Luis.
Shut the fuck up, Luis. You're interrupting me again, Luis. You're interrupting me again, Luis. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're interrupting me again. No, you guys are interrupting me. Now we're interrupt you.
That's what the fuck does this Bolshevik have to do with George fucking Bush?
What the fuck does the Finnish? Yes, but what the fuck does the Finnish Bolshevik have to do with George fucking Bush?
I don't know, because Flo's an idiot.
So
I was
drift you
gonna
are
say-
heartless, you deserve to be locked in a gulag.
Yes.
I was gonna say something about this whole refugee and how if someone asked me like, what would you do if I trust me, I'd probably go for like Mussolini kind of thing. Like one thing, all this queer stuff, knock it off. That's going all that social justice stuff's going in the trash like right away. That's the first thing I'm doing. That's going in the trash. It's not gonna be the gold standard, and there'd probably be a lot of oy veys from that.
Yeah.
All this progressive stuff's getting turned on its head, and it's going back to conservatism. Like you're
Well,
done with this.
at some point, these people are going to have to be physically removed to use the term,
Yeah, I probably
Herman
Through
Hoppe.
the Triple H service.
If you
Yeah.
have to have a nationalist, if you have to have someone like myself in power to do it, I wouldn't be. I'd be like that. There's no problem, dude. I literally would go in the university saying, I'd tell like something like Blackshires, you go in and get rid of these people. They've destroyed the universe. They've destroyed higher education. They've destroyed everything.
And plus, with all these refugees, look at how a lot of them fight Europeans at their borders. Well, if they could fight Europeans, why don't they fight their government or fight ISIS?
I don't know. Ship them back so you fight your own battles. We're not responsible for you.
It just looks like they're just abusing the system. It doesn't look like they're there for safety or anything. It just looks like they're abusing the system.
Of course not.
And besides, what are they gonna offer us in return?
Nothing.
Kebab.
Nothing.
They're
Kebab,
gonna offer
yes,
you
kebab,
Sharia
kebab.
law, raping your kids, and
Getting
diversity. Is that enough?
Like, I don't-
Probably a ton of children who are mixed, though, too.
Like, I'm not really obsessed with race or anything. I'm against multiculturalism, but I support the melting pot.
Melting pot sounds like, okay, I'm starting to think melting pot, you're just throwing everything together and mixing it up.
Well,
America is pretty unique in its case.
Well, maybe for America, but you can't do that with Europe or any other.
Yeah, I
region
said for
because
Europe, that can't be done because Europe already has an identity.
You can't just tell a French guy and a German guy, oh, go into the same city and have kids, just like that. Or a Polish guy and a Russian guy.
But if
No.
there's going to be melting pots in Europe, it has to be all over the place, in my opinion.
I don't think the melting pot works in Europe. It
doesn't
It is
work.
an
You can't
American
do-
thing.
You can't do that. You can't. I'm like Ethan. You can't do that in Europe. They already have a defined race. They already have all this stuff.
It's not like the United States or Canada.
Well, actually,
Canada has like French and English and like indigenous, so I don't think it can be done in Canada either.
An interesting note about this whole melting pot thing. One of the ways that the term melting pot was popularized in North America was by a play in the turn of the 20th century called The Melting Pot, written by a guy named Israel Zangwill. And he was a member of the American Jewish Congress at the time. And he was
Jewish conspiracy.
He was one of the main proponents of immigration.
Yeah.
So take from that what you will.
Yeah. David Duke made a video about that where he showed
Yeah.
how Jewish organizations were pushing for the 1965 Act of Immigration and so on.
David Duke is an idiot, though, dude. That guy says that Iran is our ally.
Yeah, he
They're
literally said
not.
that.
I know Manuel would say the same thing, but I'm like, they're not. Just because
Well,
they hate Jews doesn't make them an
could
ally.
be. I mean, it could be, really, because, the Shias aren't really pushing for jihad as much as, the Sunnis. And
Well, Sunnis are freaking nuts, and they're
Yeah.
supporting Sunnis though. They're trying to. They're in their co-op effort to get rid of the Jews in the Middle East. Well, I mean by Jews in the Middle East, you know which country I'm talking about with this. They're literally giving them weapons and rockets and stuff to do it.
You mean Turkey?
Here's my.
Iran. I'm talking about Iran giving stuff to like Hamas and crap.
Yeah, they do. And North Korea does too.
Oh no, because North Korea
Okay,
went
so
through out of
they're
existence.
fighting Zionist occupiers, big deal.
Yeah.
North
Jews
Korea's
don't
a
like
shit.
it, they can pack the shit up and leave.
North Korea is retarded anyway. They're like, oh, we're gonna nuke America. They never do it because they don't have shit to do it with.
The problem is
I
he
think
can't
the whole
reach the
thing
button.
about North
Turkey.
Korea is just like Zionist media making up a big threat. Oh my god, a communist shithole in Asia, some nukes. Who the fuck cares?
Who gives
I mean,
a shit? They're retarded.
Israel has fucking how many nukes? Like they had some number about 200
Yeah.
nukes in Israeli hands. But
Israel-
nobody
so
cares
what?
because
So what?
greatest ally.
Yeah,
So what?
Pakistan
America
has
has them.
Nationalism.
India has them. Pakistan, Russia, China. Who gives a fuck? Really?
Exactly.
A ton of countries have them. What's the big deal?
Israel has had nukes illegally for decades, and they refuse to sign the exact same treaties they wish to propose in the UN against Arab countries against nukes.
Yeah, well, if I was surrounded by enemies in and outside my borders, I'm probably going to be very upset.
Well,
Sure would have been a bitch.
they had the option to go to Madagascar, but they did need to go to their so-called ancient homeland, which they stole from other tribes. And then
Tribes. I think it'd be just like any other Arab country would now. It'd just be war-torn and shit because of our own interest and shit. There would be nothing different.
Well, here's a
TBH.
I wouldn't say that it was stolen though. It was the British Mandate of Palestine, which was carved
Technically, it's
into
the
the Ottoman Empire.
technically you could blame the crown mainly.
And the British were the ones who gave the Jewish people to it.
They're like, okay, here.
Well, but
British- it
only
wasn't given
supported by
the Jewish
Zionist
people,
interests
it was
that pulled
guaranteed
the
that
U.S.
America
into
would
the
go to
war.
War I.
So that the Jews
Look up
could
the
gain
Balfour
Palestine.
Declaration.
Yeah, it was the Balfour Declaration where
It was literally
they promised the Rothschilds that they would give the
Rothschild.
Jewish homeland.
And not only that,
Well, the British had freaking problems in that whole area anyway. Freaking Brits. Well, it's the Europeans carved a bunch of lines on a map and said, here's the freaking countries, and look what it did. That's one example of Euro fuckery.
The Europeans, of course, with the long noses.
well, it seems like this is what the Middle East is like.
The Euro fuckery.
When they're not too busy trying to destroy Israel, like the Middle Eastern countries, they're all looking at each other going, I hate you, and I hate you!
Mostly for religion, like Shia or whatever. It's
And Sunni.
Yeah!
Shia.
When they're not.
Or it's not that. Well, that's the only thing that kind of keeps some of these groups together, though. But otherwise, they'll be like, they're looking at one another like, I fucking want to kill you for some dumb shit. It's like.
Otherwise, yeah. Besides from all that, they all hate each other.
It'd be just like Africa, dude. It'd be just like Africa if there was no. If the Jews weren't in the Middle East, Israel wasn't there or anything, it'd be just like Africa. Ripping each other apart over nothing, and nobody would care.
Well, they still do it, and it would be less if Israel wouldn't be there. Because, you know,
It'd still be like Africa.
the whole thing about, you know, Israel attacking Lebanon and Palestine wouldn't be there. And a whole bunch of Sunni Muslims wouldn't be as radicalized as they are now.
It's still have radical Muslims, but it'd be like Africa. You don't hear about it. Because now you don't hear about the civil wars in Africa very much. All the Dindies blowing each other up with like RPGs. You wouldn't hear about it.
Doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Because God's chosen people aren't in Africa. They aren't in danger.
Well, actually, there's a large.
Who gives a shit about Africa?
There's a large Jewish community in Western Africa, actually. Sorry, Eastern Africa, rather.
Eastern Africa. Well, nothing really happens.
Ethiopia was for a long time Jewish, and then they converted to Christianity. And the kings of Ethiopia claimed that they were the direct descendants of Solomon.
Solomon.
They also claim to have the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
An interesting thing, though, is that a lot of East African Jews tried to emigrate to Israel at one point, and the Israeli government chemically castrated them all without their knowledge.
Yeah, because they're black.
Yeah. But like, if the U.S. was to do something similar like that to
Europe does it.
Syrian refugees, like imagine the SJW backlash that would
happen. Well, the left still backlash against the Israelis for it, like the radical left, of course. Like Mason threw a temper tantrum. All the commies, of course, will.
Yeah,
the Storm Finance will have an uproar.
All of those Islamic fundamentalists only when they're anti-West.
Anti-West, or okay, whatever.
I'm not saying Israel's perfect. They're full
of course
of
not. There's like they got some jacked up politicians who like my herp the dirt this, my dirt the dirt that.
Yeah, and there was the USS Liberty incident. Now, being that said, if you were surrounded by enemies in and out your borders,
they're not surrounded by enemies. They created those enemies themselves when they went.
No, they didn't.
Nah.
Really?
No. It's the hatred of the Arab and the Jew never liked each other. It's not they were peaceful buddies and then one day no.
These Middle Eastern countries, back in the 1970s,
take a whole bunch of people in your family and take over a room and say, "Okay, this is mine now." Oh, I'm surrounded by enemies.
Sometime back,
else wants to kill me.
The British did.
How bad?
Well, there was conflict even
by
before
Zionist
the
circles and the Rothschilds, which were the biggest capitalists in Britain.
ALMAO. Not even
Rothschilds.
Rothschilds. I'm like, nah. This fighting has happened forever. Those two races just don't get along. It's like it's something with them.
Yeah, they don't get along because before they were never together.
Well,
That's the whole
territorial.
point.
They both claim the
Once
same
Jews
piece
came,
of
this
land.
conflict started.
One says it
Yeah,
belongs
the
to the
Jews
Greater
know
Islam, and the other
before
says
this.
no. So they claim the same piece of territory. It's never going to go away. Like,
which
it's
the
just,
Jews stole.
Yeah.
worse, the Islamists
They
stole from the
illegally
Byzantines,
stole
and
still
Rome
illegally
stole it
occupied
from
on
them.
our dime. We pay for it, man.
You know what happened? You know what needs to
Muslims
happen
stole
is
it from like the
that
Christians or shit. They took it from the Byzantines, of course.
we need to have a new crusade. Like Europe just needs to invade the whole Middle East, turn it Christian, and then we'll have a great time. Everybody will be golden.
Yeah.
We need to line up all the Jews, all the Protestants, all the Muslims against the wall and just shoot them all in the back of the head.
I would
No,
go
we're
full
not
Turner
condoning
Diaries.
violence.
I got Protestant friends.
We're not condoning violence here, Goy.
God wills it.
You know, I wouldn't do it, but I understand.
Deus Volt.
These voltings today's.
But we should really go Turner Diaries. We shouldn't do just Deus Volt. Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah, well, rip Ethan
Christianity.
and I then.
Just go full Turner Diaries.
Well, rip me, rip Manuel, rip everybody who's not white then. I guess.
I'm not really considered white.
So rip Soldier too. So rip.
Yeah, I'm Irish and Italian, so I don't know about.
You're all non-whites.
Rip.
Half track.
Italian, so basically Tunisian.
Well, actually,
half a Sicilian, half
my
indigenous.
my family from my mother's side is Sicilian, so it's pretty much like the darkest Italian you can get.
Yeah,
you're basically like a mulatto.
Half Kata.
Yeah.
No, mulatto is what Delta is.
Yeah, I know, but
Blackwood.
it kind of depends on whether or not Irish people are white. Otherwise, he's like 100% Negro.
I'm
like German, Norwegian. I have a lot of Germanic blood that like Anglo, you could say, which they consider that to be Germanic. German itself, Norwegian, that's Scandinavian, and like Iberian, which that's my Portuguese end. So I'm like 4 different European races, and also a lot of English from my dad's end. So
who is your cab cam?
I don't know.
Yeah, he just joined our chat. Hey.
Hey.
Hello, cab cam.
Hi.
Who is this?
He just has his mic muted.
That's okay. He doesn't have to talk. He can just be here.
Yeah.
Hey, listen to everybody. They're screaming each other
Well,
over.
it's probably JIDF, but you know.
Well, he might learn something.
He might be social democrat disguising as something else. Hold on. It could be James Rufus. You don't know. Trying to.
I don't know. Just continue.
From Argentina.
Let's just continue.
What the fuck is that noise?
Who was doing the DJ thing?
Delta, the fact that you said Democratic Socialist in one's name, now he's gonna try to flag this video.
Yeah, I'm sure this video has already been flagged like 20 times. Yeah. The fact that we're still here talking is astonishing.
It's a miracle.
We probably have, you know, like a whole bunch of JIDF agents sitting at their computers right now, just trying to flag that video for hate.
Oy vey, shut it down, Goy.
Shut it down.
Goyim, no, too much. Shut it down.
I'll have to say it all. If there's a ton of JDF, then it's like, just go home. Click off the video, please.
Yeah, seriously, get a life, dude.
Like, tell my brand, it's like, then go home.
Go home to your menorahs and your Talmuds.
Your menorahs. Go home to your Communist Manifesto, faggot.
Flags and their...
Go back to their queer theory and queer science and shit. I don't care.
And
go home.
Go back to your safe spaces.
Go back to your safe space.
I remember looking at some of the communists who posted comments on one of the videos I made for Ethan's channel, and they were like saying, "No, these were not socialists." Yes, they were.
They're not socialists. Was it Milosevic?
Yeah,
that Serbian. Oh, I know a Serb, and like he'd be freaking like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He commented on that video. Is it death to imperialism, freedom?
Oh yeah, that's who it is, Serb. Yeah, I know that freaking guy.
He was the founder of the Serbian Socialist Party.
No, was he like mad? Was he just like? I knew
because it has socialist in the name, it makes something automatically socialist.
Sodom Milosevic.
Really?
Look! I love his things like a.
So if I call a dog a cat, does that make it a cat or?
Yeah.
No, but he founded it right after the Communist Party collapsed.
Oh, the League of Communists. That entire League of Communists was a mess to begin with.
I mean, yeah, sure, there were other like parties and factions he had to try to get along with because of the whole Serbian national thing, but still, the dude was a socialist. I don't care what that guy says. You're not gonna convince me he wasn't.
Hey, what do you guys call death to imperialism, freedom to the people?
Richard, we call him Richard.
He's a Maoist.
He's like a Serb though too.
I remember Luis told him in the comment section of one of his videos when he was giving like an update. Luis told him, "You like killing Bosnian Serbian guy?"
Well, I don't think he likes Milosevic or anything.
Yo, one time, like,
we joke with him about
I saw
that
the
though.
screenshot of Luis in like a debate about Muslim rights somewhere, and he said like, "No fucking guns for stupid ass Muslims."
And everyone got mad. It was like, I'm like,
I don't know. Luis has these good ideas.
yeah, I'm sitting there clapping like, now I'm just like,
Delta, didn't at first you think he was an asshole, but now you're looking at it and you're like, hey.
yeah, I'm clapping it. I'm just like pretty good actually. I never really had I never had a good view of Islam, like absolutely never. Not even during my leftist phase. Never. Like, not even that. Just never. Not even once.
I'm not really
back America, damn it.
I don't usually criticize religion.
Delta USA, hashtag make Israel great again.
Make America great, faggot.
Yeah,
I
never
don't know
put
which
yourself
one
over
you
the
seem to
United
pledge
States.
allegiance to. Yahweh's chosen race. More than you do America sometimes.
America. I don't talk about them that much. I'm like, shit happens. They're freaking. I don't get why like Fox News drowns their shit in it. I'm like, are we supposed to be talking about America, you faggot, not somewhere else in the world? Okay, faggot.
America, fuck yeah! Come on, it's in the sand, motherfucker.
Hey, Tom, remember when you commented on Manuel's video when he responded to Mason? You're all like, fuck Hitlerism. The only true form of social fascism is national Trumpism.
Yeah.
Trumpism.
Well, when Trump is elected, he'll be the first, fascist. I use that term in quotation marks. Fascist government in the past 50 years.
Fascist. I hate it when people. They just
He
throw it
literally
around.
made it by Salon that he was a fascist.
I hate these. That pisses me off. Like I see it lefties just throwing it around. They say when fascism comes to America, it's gonna be like with religion
it would be
and crap.
great
Like,
if he
they're all
was a
idiots.
fascist.
That's a
no,
lie.
You're not gonna get that.
It's hard. They're thinking like we're gonna bring Christian theocracy and gays are gonna be
You're
so
not gonna
oppressed
get,
and
like-
oy vey and whatever. I'm like, fuck
Okay.
it, it's not.
You're not gonna get black
Look
shirts
at gays.
smartest to washing
Look at
machine,
gay.
sadly.
Look at gay people in the United States, and go look at gay people in Iran.
Or Saudi Arabia, or under Sharia law or something.
Or look at.
Hey,
Never mind.
never mind.
At least the police here don't kick down gay people's doors and then go and have them hung.
Yeah,
Sharia law.
the government that makes its women walk around in trash bags is more fascist than anything Trump can do.
Oh, or evil. Well, no, because they freaking all this atheism and all this leftist stuff's strictly against Christians. They like they'll shill for Muslims, but yet when a Christian does something, these are all Christians. They're all horrible oppressors. And it's like when
Bernie Sanders is more of a
snack bar
fascist.
does it. Oh, it's the
Bernie Sanders.
or some
Bernie Sanders.
or some jihadi snack bar sand nigger does it. Oh, that's not all Muslims. Get out of here. Fuck
Yeah,
yourself.
Alex?
God. Oh, what?
Bernie
No,
Sanders
it would
is
actually be great
Sanders is
if
an
Donald
idiot.
Trump was a real fascist.
You know what?
Or, if
He
everyone
gets
just
elected
built out
maybe one day.
Rand Paul, stopped being a manlet, and won the election. Then we could all just relax. You know?
Well, let's talk about Bernie Sanders for a bit.
Oh, Bernie. Fuck him. He's a
I think
freaking
it
idiot.
needs to be addressed.
He believes in failed systems, so don't even.
He's
Yeah,
like
well-
Jeremy Corbyn.
A failed system? Like, what do you mean by a failed system?
Socialism, which apparently has this whole thing of Sweden. That works.
Well,
Every
it's
single
not
country
really
has been
socialism in the sense of
history,
we're
isn't
just
that
gonna
fulfilled
redesign
too?
everything.
He likes to.
Basically, it's Scandinavian type.
You want to know something?
where you
Social
introduce a
democracy.
bit of social democracy.
Did you guys?
Okay, I just want to add that I think it's really interesting that Bernie Sanders is really trailing in the polls right now because he was in the perfect position to gain a lot of support, especially during the beginning of the election because he had so many people supporting him. A lot of his rhetoric appealed to a lot of people, but I think a lot of people wanted to see him tear into Hillary Clinton. A lot of people wanted to have a soundbite of Bernie Sanders just tearing Hillary Clinton apart, but it never happened. Like during all those debates, Bernie Sanders really never said anything that contradicted Hillary Clinton, and I would argue that that's why he's trailing in the polls right now. He's just proven himself to be like a really milquetoast, boring, cuckish kind of guy, and people don't want that as their president.
Look at Obama.
And here's
Look at
something.
Obama.
Yeah, people are sick of Obama. That's
Look at him.
My
Michelle Obama approved lunch of like freaking green beans and tofu and other nigger.
Just remember, the same people who thought that Obama was going to improve the U.S. are the same people who are supporting Bernie Sanders.
Yep, true. It's mostly all these freaking like most of these college students and freaking.
And they only vote for them for social issues.
Guys, I forgot. From today onwards, you can buy Mein Kampf legally in Germany again.
Yeah, but it has commentary.
I know. 100 pages of commentary.
No, thank you.
Oh, generally, seriously. Commentary. I'm like, nah, I'm not.
I don't know if you guys heard about this since we're talking about Bernie Sanders, but you know like how he likes to use Northern Europe as an example of how socialism works and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know the Danish, like the new Prime Minister of Denmark, came out and spoke out against Bernie Sanders, calling him to stop doing that because it's not, because Denmark's in a shithole right now?
Yeah, in Sweden, too.
Yeah,
Sweden's a mess.
We should be just like Sweden.
I think Denmark is a social market now.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Denmark is turning its backs on the refugees. Like, I read recently that Denmark is like taking a lot of the gold and like they're taking watches of refugees coming into the country.
That's slick, dude.
The Danish Popular Party is very influential right now, so I don't know if they're in government yet, but the Nationalist Party is pretty influential right now. They're pressuring
taking
the
gold. I'm
government
surprised the
to
Oi
take
days
them
haven't come out about that.
refugees.
Them taking gold from people.
Well, you know, they work for the chosen people there.
Guys, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna call MasterCard.
Oh, you got a problem?
Yeah.
Later.
Wait, he's just gonna mute it. Are you gonna mute? Okay. You gonna mute yourself, man?
No, I'm gonna leave call.
So we don't have to hear your call. Okay.
Muted.
TBH. Okay, about this. TBH, I'm never into this whole Jewish conspiracy thing. I'm like, I think it's a bunch of shit to begin with, but I just like to throw jokes around. I'm a joker.
Yeah, well, it's one thing you're an anti-Semite, and it's one thing you're making jokes about it.
Well, the funny thing is, like,
I'm like, no, I'm kidding. This isn't even real.
All
I
these people
don't go super deep with it.
All these people like to say how Jewish people run banks and everything.
Well, there's a lot of them that do. They are some actual bankers, but it doesn't prove global conspiracy.
Exactly, and as a matter of fact, Stefan Molyneux actually did a video about that, explaining like why do a lot of Jewish people intend to own corporations and banks and all that. And he did explain that, and it was true because like there was like a few hundred years ago.
Oh yeah, it was something with the Middle Ages.
Well, yeah. At one point in Europe, the Catholic Church, which had a lot of power, it forbid the charging of interest on loans, and because the
Muslims,
they didn't fall into the jurisdiction of the Catholic Church. They were able to lend money to people and charge interest, so they naturally formed banking.
But Jewish people didn't, though.
Well, not every single Jew does it. Therefore, Jewish conspiracy. I'm like,
lame. Yeah, they think that just because there could be two Jewish guys there, they'll think that it's automatically the Jews run the whole thing.
Other people accuse me of thinking the Catholics run the crap. I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. My point is that they're the Vatican's very, very rich. They're even richer than these Jewish bankers. You know how much freaking gold that the Vatican sits on? More than Jewish bankers.
It's not like a religious conspiracy or anything. It's rather just It's just a bunch of group of random people who are successful as hell.
Well, I don't say it's a religious conspiracy.
Not all of them are freaking Jewish either. Warren Buffett's not Jewish.
Oh yeah,
I don't believe it.
Ted
back to
Turner
the
isn't
first
Jewish.
answer, do you guys like you know what Mason said about him? Mason told Independent Working Man that that because he's Jewish and supports Israel, he's a Zionist.
Yeah.
I think that's what a Zionist is. It's just advocating the creation of a state. I'm not saying like I agree with everything the government's doing, but I'm saying just the creation of a state there because they seem to there's a lot of historical shit, and that's the problem. That's what I was saying. The whole thing, the fight between them and the Arab is over territory and over, you could say, faith, territory, and just a bit. They've had this rivalry. They go belongs to Islam and only Muslims, and the other is no, and it's just a tug of war. It's a giant tug of war over a piece of territory.
Like I don't agree with everything that Israel has done.
Yeah, of course not.
But if I had to pick between like Israel or Iran, I'm gonna choose Israel.
Nah, I'll take the ally over the one that doesn't. I'm like, nah.
It's like Iran they're saying is death to America.
They're saying death to America. I don't get how they're a friend in that case. And they're saying they want to blow up America too. I'm like, okay, you just crossed the border. If you want to attack one country, I'll be like, I don't like you for that, but I could probably agree. When you say death to America, oh, you're done. Like.
Oh, by the way, didn't the Saudis bomb? Didn't the Saudi Arabians bomb the Iranian embassy in Yemen?
The Saudis hate them. If they give you know what's
Let them kill each other. Let them kill each other.
Yeah, the Saudi Arabian government actually recently severed all diplomatic ties with Iran because the Saudi Arabian government recently executed a bunch of so-called dissidents in this mass execution, and one of the people they executed was actually a person who was very influential in the Iranian government. And the Iranians are really pissed off at them right now. So there's a lot of frictions between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
For the record.
And this whole thing of they're controlled by the Zionists. I'm like, they don't even like Israel. They're against them very much so, but they got to deal with them because
Saudi Arabia's allied with Israel
America.
and provides them a military base in the Red Sea.
Only one time.
Was it once? The Saudis hate them just like anybody. I don't think they even recognize it. I don't think they even recognize them.
Let's not forget the Gulf War. Let's not forget Desert Storm. You know what?
Actually, Assad even was on our side on that one. I think his name was like Mubarak. Mubarak and Assad supported us in that.
Do you remember Desert Storm?
Oh yeah, back in the Gulf War.
Yeah.
Even like Assad was on our end in that. Assad did support was like on our side in that one.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Syria all came to the coalition to fight Saddam Hussein, right? You want to know what Saddam Hussein's idea was to break up the coalition? His idea was to bomb Israel. He sent Scud missiles into Israel, hoping Israel will come into the war and the coalition would collapse because these Arab countries.
Oh, because the Arabs don't like them, and it didn't do shit.
No, because
that's shit to your planet.
Because we kept telling because the Israelis stood down, like we kept asking the Israelis to stand down, which they did.
They got their own problems. I'm like, shit. So many people crab out when something happens, and I'm like, freaking, they're war torn by terrorism every single second. Or some would say it's heroic this, but whatever, it's war. No matter what war. So I'm like, I don't get why so many people care about it.
Jason Unruh.
They're surrounded by enemies.
Well,
people don't like
but
him.
they kind of fault themselves.
If a bunch of
Hey, can you do like another video, like a live broadcast soon? Because I'm in the car right now, and I was like in a restaurant walking around and stuff like that. For my birthday.
We're gonna have another Friday night shitposting in February sometime. As I said at the beginning of this stream, we're gonna do one of these every month for the next year, so there'll be plenty of more time to talk about stuff.
There'll be a lot more stuff. That's the only thing I think on this whole the Jews and things. That's the only thing that kind of kills us with this whole unity in that case. They won't debate and argue about stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I can understand why people are really probably disliking this video right now because they hear a lot of talk about Judaism and Israel, and they see this as like hostile.
But idiots blindly dislike videos without watching them. Like I got
the lefties. It's mostly communists who are butthurt. Most communists are really anti-Israel, and
when I made a video
few hours ago, you already had like 2 dislikes before we even started discussing stuff.
Well, yeah, the last time I checked, we had 3 likes and 3 dislikes.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it's Social Democrat. They're gonna come over here and try to troll and try to. Well, guess what? They can't chat, so they can't be. There's no idiots in it.
Well, yeah. Well, for the next time, I really want to enable the chat because I really want to have more audience participation.
Look up tutorial, look up tutorials on that if you.
Yeah. I'll get it working for the next time.
I'm just wondering if they're gonna make video responses.
They're gonna be ass hurt because they don't like what we're saying. Oi, this offends me.
Well, I mean, I don't think that we've.
Suicide Watch.
Yeah, I don't think that we've really said anything that's incorrect or demonstrably incorrect. We're just, we're just stating matters of fact and then passing judgments on those matters of fact.
I mean, we're discussing stuff.
And plus,
We have
listen
people
to
who are
this.
pro-Israel, we have people that are anti-Israel.
And
We
plus,
have people who
listen to
believe
this.
there's Zionist influence, or people who don't believe that. We just discussed it.
Yeah, we just discussed it. My thing is, I'm not like a complete, because I used to be a really hard-on like shill. Manuel still says I'm a huge shill. I'm like, I'm starting to become less of a shill because I see all these other lunatics in the whole Israel crowd, and they're like, if you disagree with them one drop, you're anti-Semitic, or if you know a National Socialist,
Yeah,
you're
I
anti-Semite.
agree.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. I just want them to have a country in this.
Have we done anything illegal? Have we denied the Holocaust? No, we haven't
Well,
done that.
I mean, okay, this is being posted under a Canadian channel, and in Canada, it's illegal to incite hatred against identifiable groups, whatever the hell that
Oh,
means.
the identity. Yes, yeah, exactly.
we
So
have
what?
that in
Progressive
Germany too. We
infiltrated
have
your
like the strictest
So, like,
laws ever on that.
hate speech.
Yeah.
It's
So
called
okay,
Volksverhetzung or agitation of the people. And you can get into prison for a good amount of years if you agitate against any group, like
Yeah.
any bigger group of a certain group of persons. Like,
well, I mean,
it's
in any non-white group, you mean?
yeah.
Oh, basically.
You can of course
like
be
my-
racist against Germans, but not against
Yeah.
not against foreigners or Jews
But
or
okay, but
homosexuals or anything.
I just want to say seriously for a second right now that going forward, I don't want anybody else to say anything that could be conceived in any way as being either hate speech or inciting violence. Because I could get
Yeah,
in
I get
trouble.
that. I get the violence part.
I'm not an American, so I'm actually under jurisdiction of Canadian laws, so I can get in a lot of trouble for some of the things that we've said here. I mean, it's okay for now because I'm pretty sure that like nobody's gonna really give a shit. But going forward, I just want everybody to turn it down a bit.
Don't worry. If you get arrested, we'll get some ropes and stuff, and we'll bust you out of jail.
Yeah.
Oh, like the Mussolini thing.
I'll find the best Jewish lawyer available, and he'll defend me.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
now they're gonna try to compare you to the KKK for saying that.
Nah. Well, luckily in America we got the First
the
Amendment.
KKK
so I'm
is
kidding.
Jewish members.
Yeah, like me and Manuel.
Not anymore. Not
America will
anymore.
be great again once we start following the Constitution.
Can we talk about China for a minute?
China. They're freaking shit. They're freaking a bunch of freaking revisionist socialists. I don't even give a crap what they do. They're.
Well, like, do you guys watch War Corps 3-6?
666? Yeah.
Well, apparently, like, he just brought up a topic how Hong Kong, like, pro-democracy Hong Kong people are disappearing.
Oh yeah, that's called dictator. Well, look at Marxist philosophy. They still got dictatorship of the proletariat. There you go. Get rid of this. Get rid of dissent. If that threatens their communism, they're gonna get rid of them. It's part of their theory.
Yeah. I don't know why Britain gave up Hong Kong. Granted, I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of
Portugal giving up Macau. That's stupid.
I mean, it's imperialism.
I'm not a huge fan of the British Empire or the royal family, but being that said, it's probably better Hong Kong was better under British rule than under communist China.
What about Macau? I think Macau would be the same way though. Like the Portuguese gave it up, and I'm like, that was stupid. Come on, keep it.
It's kind of like picking between Pinochet and Allende. It's either millions starve or just a couple thousand communists getting free helicopter rides.
Well, Peter, they cry about the communist depressions. I've seen it. The double standard of communists. They will cry when, like, nationalists or people like Francoists, they kill communists, but they can kill fascists, and it's totally justified. And they don't, and that's good because we're helping fight against
you
racism.
have a Franco boner, TBH.
Then there's Nicaragua. The Nicaraguan Civil War. These people, like all these leftist socialist commies, they'll like praise the Sandinistas and tell them how they were a loving, caring government. Oh, but the Contras were a bunch of radical savages. Despite the fact the Sandinistas killed a bunch of innocent people too. I'm not saying the Contras didn't do that sort of thing either.
Another left-wing double standard and hypocrisy When a capitalist country goes to war, it's imperialism. When a socialist country goes to war, it's liberation.
Or it's some kind of justified anti-imperialist struggle like with the DPRK or something. It's hypocrisy. Or fascism's capitalism when they have no idea what fascism is, or even what National Socialism is.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this not to be a dick or anything, but there's a lot of right-wingers. They don't know what any of those ideologies are either. They call it socialism. They try to say it's the same thing as communism. I'm like, you're idiots. Almost nobody knows because of all this, because of the hatred we have for third positionist ideology, because of World War II and all that.
Well, Juan Perrin's ideology was influenced by socialism.
And then people try to say, oh, it's totalitarian socialism. I'm like, no, it's not. National Socialism isn't socialism in the same way as communism is. Economically, they're two different systems.
There are different forms of socialism.
National Socialism's third positionism. It rejects Marxism and it rejects capitalism. So it's... And they view socialism in a different way than the communists do.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Juan.
I would argue that National Socialism, at least as it existed in Germany, was actually a mixed economy. It wasn't really... It wasn't capitalist, it wasn't socialist. It was really...
Third position. That's the third position. It
was a mix.
Me going into Strasserism and so on.
Strasserism is more
I've
socialistic.
kind of
What about
investigated the subject, so to say, if you can call it, and Hitler and a good chunk of the National Socialist leadership, they favored power over the real ideals of National Socialism. So they kind of gave up the 25-point program for being in power. They went with like a Keynesian kind of social democratic market policy.
Hey guys, I'm gonna go, alright?
While they were like reigning in Germany.
Shitposting podcast, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. See ya.
Yeah, see you later, Ethan.
See you later, man.
Bye, Ethan.
I'm here now. Now I'm here in my house.
Alright, Luis, it's... You've
Yeah,
probably been hearing us
I-
argue over and over. You've probably been hearing us just argue back and forth.
Actually,
So to say, the National Socialists were just pumping in money into the German economy.
Well, yeah, actually, Hitler was very influenced by John Maynard Keynes, in that he believed that excessive social spending for like infrastructure would it would prime the pump of the economy.
For example, the
Yeah,
Autobahn.
wait. Can I explain? Like, I have an interesting experience. I actually, last Wednesday, I actually talked to a former Muslim. He's a YouTuber known as the Pharaoh. He debated Alex on Facebook, a communist apologist. He explained how Egypt used to be secular. And during the 1920s, they have like their own roaring 20s, and they used to have like movies.
Are you talking about like Abdul Nasser? Because I know a few people that
during
hate
the 50s
Nasser.
they were pretty secular.
Yeah,
Although
during
they
the 50s too, like with Nasser and all that.
Well, they weren't really secular. They were still like an Islamic country, but not to the degree other countries in the Middle East were.
Yeah, but in the 60s, for example, he explained that in the 60s there were actually movies that have nudity, and it was like very Western.
Yeah, I think that's where like Saeb Quetab and a lot of his ideas came from, because it was a reaction to
in Iran, Iran was actually very prior to the revolution, the Islamic Revolution in the 1970s. If you go back and look at pictures of Iran teenagers of like the 1960s and early 1970s, it was like they were dressed pretty much as Americans are today. But
Look at Afghanistan.
during the Republic. During the monarchy,
you had like a monarchy which was pretty, pro-Western, and you had like.
Yeah, I noticed. Basically, the reason why we have funded the monarchy because we established it because it was a dictatorship. A Western, actually, was a dictatorship before the monarchy, was funded by the U.S. But Great Britain convinced.
You mean the Shah?
Yeah, like before the Shah was a dictator. But then Great Britain convinced America that since they're anti-communism and they're anti-dictatorship, they kick out the dictator, I forgot his name, and replace it with the Shah, because they wanted to be all peace with Britain by establishing a monarchy.
What's this stuff? I know Afghanistan, after the monarchy in '73, they created like a republic, and then 1978, a communist revolution. I guarantee it was backed by the Soviet Union. They overthrew the republic and set up a puppet.
Yeah.
And that's what sparked the Soviet war in Afghanistan, because there were anti-communist rebellions to get rid of the communist government, and it led to the Soviets getting involved in the fray and sending forces to try to put everything down. But that didn't work.
Afghanistan
collapsed.
Afghanistan became the Soviet Union's Vietnam.
Oh, it did. They got completely destroyed. The commies, they left. Oh, we destroyed the Americans in Vietnam, but you lost Afghanistan because you can't. That's one country no one could conquer. Even we're having a hard time dealing with it.
Not only that, we did a better job in Afghanistan than they did.
Oh, they were rolling tanks through mountains, and I was like, "Are you stupid? Rolling a freaking T-72 through mountains? Are you an idiot?"
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny because during the Soviet Afghan
And actually, let me explain.
the Americans actually gave
Afghanistan, we almost won Vietnam. It's a good video. We were that close to Vietnam.
Did. We could have, but but we didn't have a lot of popular support at home, so that's what killed it. That's what the communists win.
Yeah, after the Tet Offensive.
I mean, it's a good video. We technically won the Vietnam War. Because we signed a peace.
Volunteers.
It's a good video I found. It's like the truth about the Vietnam War. We signed a peace treaty called Victory in Vietnam Day because we said we threatened Vietnam that we would bomb Hanoi if they did not join the French conference. That the United States will bomb Hanoi, which is the capital of North Vietnam at that time.
Mm-hmm. It still is a capital of the modern regime.
And as a result, they went to the French conference and they signed a treaty saying, hey, you leave South Vietnam alone, and we won't war. And then we actually signed a peace treaty, and it was supposed to be a victory in Vietnam. We technically won until. Because
until we start cutting funding, then the communists were able to take advantage of that and seize the South.
They also was trying to, since they realized how unpopular it was, like they secretly sent people to invade Ho Chi Minh, and we were actually technically won, but South.
But the communists get the victory in this regard, though.
And I hate to say this. But many South Vietnamese officers were also corrupt because a lot of the military equipment we were sending them, they were selling it on the black market.
So a corrupt military, corruptive.
Yeah. My grandpa was in Vietnam, and he said the South Vietnamese people, they just treated it like it was just between us and North Vietnam.
I will admit, like, the Vietnam War was like, they don't like, I'm like, I will understand why America join the war because I'm against him. Like,
it was anti-communism. That was the whole reason why. Because Marxism was in the north.
The Viet Cong bombed one of our naval ships. That was kind of like the motivation to send troops there.
Well, I mean, a lot of the motivation.
So you believe in the Tonkin incident or what?
Doesn't mean I agree with it, but that was the motive.
Yeah, a lot of the motive for U.S. entering Vietnam was to inculcate to inoculate Southeast Asia against communism, and one of the
Laos was having its own kind of revolutionary struggle.
Yeah, well, one of the
thought that if Vietnam would fall, then
during the Vietnam War, the Americans they heavily bombed Cambodia, and a lot of Cambodians they were really disheartened about American aggression, so a lot of them supported the Khmer Rouge. Which is something that's even worse than arguably worse than the NPA.
Well, except the Homongs. The Homongs were always loyal to us.
What was like the Bien Lao? I think something like that in Laos. They were a communist movement, and that's how communism got into Laos.
What?
They just had a revolutionary movement that kind of fought the monarchy.
The U.S. thought that if Vietnam would fall to communism, then the entirety of Southeast Asia would fall to communism.
Well, technically it didn't, because Thailand...
I wouldn't say so.
Well, I mean, like, after the Indonesian massacre, where a lot of the members of the Communist Party were just, like, outright executed in the streets, I think that the idea that Southeast Asia was going to be dominated by communism had pretty much been debunked at that point.
Why not? Former French Indochina fell to
Siam
communism.
didn't become communist, Myanmar didn't become communist, India didn't become communist.
I mean, but Thailand. Really, only French Indochina. Really, was all former French Indochina fell, but the rest of it didn't.
that
The
the
Malayan.
revolutionary wave that
Can I
you
speak
know
now?
that China brought, that
The
this
British.
new communist awakening, so to say, that came with Maoism, would sweep away
The British.
the U.S. influence in the region. But you know, the communist government after Mao's death was not really that much of an aggressive government, so to say.
By
But
1960.
Wait, everybody! I just have to say something really quick. Okay, because it's kind of getting out of hand right now. If anybody really wants to say something, just mention in the chat that you have something to say, and I'll call on you. Okay?
Did you name it in chat or?
I think Luis had something to say, and then Soldrift. So
yeah, let me explain because it was a situation with my sister. Okay, I was trying to say that even though I'm against the Vietnam War, because one, it was South Vietnam was always a part of Vietnam until the French, until China going Kai-shek was threatening North Vietnam to invade Vietnam. So so basically Vietnam tried to ally them to make a deal with France to protect them from the Chinese, but France tricked them into gain South Vietnam as some sort of trick. I do not support them, but at the same time, I respect the decision that America invade to the Vietnam War, decision to do the Vietnam War, because at that time they recently got into a Second World War. They are scared that if they be all neutral, then you have communism, which is spreading, which is known as the domino effect. So they don't want to deal with a third world war, and since countries are highly populated, they know that they're not going to win that war. So they felt that it would be better off to have little wars to prevent the spread of communism than have an enormous World War III that will be responsible for the million. But the thing is, I want to also say that there's a lot of things I disagree with Scotty and Ron Paul. It's ridiculous, stupid foreign policy, in my opinion, because they always are very, very anti-war. They want to be all neutral. I'm not no war.
Okay, it looks like Luis has left us. So I think Soldier, did you want something to say?
Yeah, I had a couple things I wanted to say, because like somebody said something, because one of you mentioned, well, if we didn't go to Vietnam, all of Southeast Asia would have fought at communism. Well, technically it didn't, because you may not know about this, but there was oh, wait, Luis is back.
About that. They kicked me off.
Luis, I'll let you finish, but Soldier was saying something.
I'll say something. Can I say something after Soldier, in that case?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah?
So, Soldier, continue.
Okay. Well, like, when someone here was saying about, like, if we didn't get into Vietnam, all of Southeast Asia would have fought at communism, which technically it didn't, because a lot of people may not know this. There was a small communist insurgency in Thailand, was eventually put down in 1983.
Yeah,
Then the British fought communist insurgents in Malaya and Singapore, called the Malayan Emergency. You ever heard of it?
Yeah.
And then back in the 50s, the United States military put down a communist insurgency in the Philippines. Although there is a communist insurgency still going on in the Philippines, but it didn't start till 1969. But we put down one in the 50s. So like I don't necessarily think communism would have controlled the Southeast Asia, but the fact that
what I was trying to say is that I think a good chunk of U.S. People that were involved in U.S. geopolitics thought that communism would, so to say, replace U.S. influence in the region. I didn't say that if the U.S. didn't go into Vietnam, they would, communism would have spread through the region. I think that a lot of people in the U.S. thought that, and that's why you went to war with Vietnam.
Yeah.
Well, my grandpa was in Vietnam, and like, from what I heard when he was over there, he felt like the South Vietnamese, like, they just didn't treat it seriously. Like, they thought it was just a war between us and North Vietnam. They didn't see it as a North-South Vietnamese thing.
Or like South Korea did or anything like that.
Well, no, the South Koreans did. Like, the South Koreans.
That's what I was saying. South Korea, they took it like serious and like, but
yeah,
you know,
even with
blah blah blah.
yeah, the only reason why the South Koreans got pushed back and we had to go bail them out is because all they had was guns and grenades. They didn't have tanks or aircraft or anything.
Well,
like
the North had did the Red Army tactic of just throwing out like Zerg rushing, and they had full backup from the USSR and all that. So
yeah, and the North Koreans did what the Nazis did when they invaded the Eastern Front. You know, Blitzkrieg. You know what I'm talking about?
They just blitzed it with like tanks and.
Yeah, the South Koreans didn't have anything to defend themselves because we didn't give them anything. But when we finally gave them something, they were able to fight back.
Yeah, we almost wiped the DPRK off the freaking map, but then Mao Zedong kind of come in with the volunteers and the volunteer armies. It wasn't actual. I don't think it was actual Chinese military.
Chinese people volunteer armies.
Yeah, it was the volunteers. They kind of went down and they pushed us back across back.
At the Battle of Incheon, the Americans really turned the tide on the Korean War.
Yeah. But the thing is South Korea was definitely different than South Vietnam. Because, like, from what my grandpa told me, the South Vietnamese military was badly armed, they were disorganized, they didn't take it serious, and half the officers were corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
And the United States did nothing to fix this. We were just told to just train them and give them weapons. That was it.
One could trace parallels between the U.S. intervention in South Vietnam with Iraq right now, because there's like the Iraqi army is arguably very close to the South Vietnamese army, and there's a lot of corruption there. There's a lot of unwillingness to fight. And
that's the thing. And a lot of American soldiers were looking at the South Vietnamese military, and they were like saying, our soldiers were like saying, what the fuck are we fighting for? These guys are not taking it serious. They're not preparing to fight the enemy that we're risking our lives for. So why the hell should we fight for them? So the public support in the United States, that was getting negative, but so it was in the military, because a lot of American soldiers did not want to fight for a country that was not willing to defend itself.
Yeah.
Because the South Vietnamese were like, oh, the Americans here, we got nothing to worry about. Yes, but at the same time, you're not doing anything to help yourself.
At least the Koreans actually wanted to remain free in that case, and they
fought
alongside us to stand.
Yeah, South Korea may not be like a pure free country, but like compared to North Korea, it definitely is. And when it came to like military and politics, when you compare them to South Vietnam, the South Koreans got their shit done. They knew how to get shit done.
Actually, in the
both
city,
kill each other.
In the city in which I live right now, there's a large South Korean population, and I know a lot of South Koreans who are they're some of the most fervent anti-communists that I've ever met.
And that's another thing. My grandpa told me that there were South Korean soldiers who were sent to Vietnam. Dude, he said they were hard as rocks. They were fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
They still hate it today because they got a country right next to them that wants to get rid of the American imperialists and like just destroy everything in the name of their ideology.
And not only that, a lot of people complain how the United States was killing civilians in Vietnam. Do you want to know on the Allied forces, the South Koreans were the ones who were responsible for most civilian deaths?
Or like I know like in the DPRK, they're full of propaganda. They think all these deaths were caused by the Americans. The South Koreans were doing the same thing. They both were slaughtering each other. They acted like they were so oppressed, they didn't do nothing, and all the deaths were caused by America. I'm like, that's a lie. That's just fervent communism, just saying we did we caused all this. Us and the Zionists are responsible for all the Middle East shit. And it's like,
it's true.
It's a lie. It's a lie. Some of it's pretty true though.
Yeah,
you got Jews who have interest in crap, and I'm not gonna.
It's true. The South Koreans were no angels, no doubt about that. But they were
angels.
But compared to like North Korea and all the other communists, they were saints compared.
Yeah, I mean, like just look at North Korea today. I mean, they're pretty much stuck in the year in which the war was fought. I mean, they're pretty much stuck in 1953 right now.
They have like
some
tech, military tech. Well, they have like AKs now though, but they don't have a lot of fighters. They're outdated.
If you guys want to have a real laugh, go look at some North Korean training videos. I mean, they're still using weaponry from World War II. They're still using World War II tactics.
They are. You know what the Bren gun is?
Yeah.
Well, they made their own version of it.
Yeah, it's called the Type 73.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna
the Japanese had one like that. It was like the Type 99 or some shit.
You're gonna use You're gonna use a 30 clip magazine as your machine gun. Are you kidding me? We use a fucking M60 that carries a M249 bullet.
Come on, I'm gonna say this. At least the freaking Zionists have made the Negev, and that's a 100 round. That's a belt-fed light machine gun. Come on. At least the merchant actually makes some pretty good weapons.
And the Desert Eagle, best handgun in the world.
The Jericho, actually. The Desert Eagle, we can just kind
of give me a Jericho or a Galil or
the Jerichos. I love the Jericho's like a smaller version of the Desert Eagle, though. Like the Jericho's.
The Jericho carries a 9mm, whereas like the Desert Eagle can carry a 44 Magnum or a 50 A&E.
Oh, they can pass. They can't even use it though militarily because it's too heavy. It's more of like a cinematic kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think
thought it looked
Jericho's more like with the sidearm, like with the Tavor. The Galil, they retired it because they have the Tavor now, which is like a piece of which is basically just polymer.
The Israelis don't make the Desert Eagle anymore. Now the United States does.
Yeah. But they kind of had the original idea to make it.
Yeah, but like our versions come with like 44 Magnums and 357s, like smaller calibers.
We're like retarded with our shit. Oh, our Hollywood cinematics with freaking.
I don't know. I wish I had a Desert Eagle.
Maybe if I had one. Yeah, just kill a jihadi snack bar, sand nigger, and.
They're hard to come by in Canada.
Oh, because gun control.
All our stupid gun laws.
I knew it.
I always wanted to go to the military, and my weapon of choice was, I hope, would always be an M60 machine gun and a Desert Eagle sidearm.
Well, they used the M9 Beretta. Like the Marine Corps is trying to get the M1911 back because
technically they do, but it's like a different type of version.
Yeah, like the 1911. They still the Marine Corps still uses it. The Army is the one that uses the freaking Beretta, and that thing's a joke.
Yeah, the Beretta sucks.
The 1911 is like a classic, and it's a 45, so it's good.
Well, I think some of the special forces units in the United States military uses the Glock.
The Glock. I'd say use the 1911 with like an M16 with like a Picatinny rail, a grip, whatever, and be like, I'll go kill some sand niggers.
You guys know how the 9/11 came into military service, right? Because back in the early 20th century, the Americans were at war with the Philippines, and the Philippine soldiers went into battle like really high on opiates. So like the American army was armed with like these Browning 9mm guns that didn't do anything against these people. There's like diaries of officers who say that they've shot at like these opiate crazed natives like 10 times, and they just wouldn't relent. But then they introduced the 45 round, and then that stopped these people right in their tracks.
That thing put them down. Like we used that thing for almost 100 years. It's still in production for like a lot of small times. Like
give me a 9/11 over a Glock.
1911, that's what it is. An M1911.
Even the Soviets tried to copy it with the so-called TT-33. The
TT-33 wasn't that bad. The Tokarev wasn't that bad. It was good for what it was good used. The PPSH was good for its.
Yeah, but the Tokarev's a pussy compared to the 1911 though.
The Tokarev was made in 1933. What do you expect? A whole lot more.
Yeah, well, the Soviets made some good guns. I'm always
PPSH was good. I love that one.
It's really funny that like the Soviets were shit at feeding their own people, but they were great at killing them.
The RPG was the RPG is
that's notorious for killing like all kinds of that takes down a lot of our shit because it's easy to get a hold of.
And it's easy to
get a hold of it.
Yeah, they're all mass produced.
Well, truth be told, the Russian AK-47 sucks. I think the reason why the AK-47 got a good reputation was because of the Chinese model, the Norinco 56.
No, it's mostly because it's simple. It's very easy. It's a very simple weapon to use. It's not like the AR-15 where it's very complicated, where we have all these different like spring loading and all this other stuff, all this other crap. I think all guns have some kind of system, but ours is complicated. For us, we tacticalize our guns much, and if I stand nigger jihadi. Some Hamas fighter picking up an AK, it's pretty simple. It's just straightforward, point, shoot thing, kill Jews, no problem.
If you guys get a chance, you should get your hands on some Yugoslavian weapons.
I do.
From the socialist period,
Yugoslavian, like the Yugoslavian version of the SKS and the AKM and the.
I have those.
The Mosin Nagant is probably some of they're their best models. that were.
Yeah, people and all the comments about Yugoslavia was evil, revisionist, horrible, not real socialist, and yet it literally put out. Yeah, it's literally one of the best socialist countries. That's the only country socialists actually even like. The other ones suck. The other ones are like shit, basically.
Well, I don't have too much to complain about the Yugoslavian SKS, but I have to complain about the Yugoslavian AK. Like, the accuracy is just plain shit.
They're a bunch of freaking market socialists, and they're sellouts.
Like, I still say, like, the best AK-47 is the Chinese version.
Is anyone mic echoing?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Where's Luis? Wasn't he gonna finish saying something?
Yeah, I was about to call him Luis to say something, but it looks like he ran away. It's his birthday today, so he's probably out blowing candles out on a cake or something.
And probably doing 17. Wow. First I thought it was like 14 or something when I was a socialist. I was like, oh god.
No,
He's a child.
He's
17.
He's 1488.
He's 17.
Oh wow, I never knew he was that old. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it's funny because my mom, it's her birthday tomorrow, so.
Let me go pull up the calendar.
They all want to go gambling. They all want to go to a casino, and I'm like, no, I'm staying home.
I can go down to the 20.
Wow,
my birthday falls on a Sunday this year. Yeah. Not bad.
I don't want. I'm gonna hate this year because of my birthday.
Mine's on February, so it's like.
Yeah,
From the 21st, it's a month. So it's on the 21st.
Mine's November 23rd. I just hate it because the age I'm gonna turn.
All right, so unless you guys have anything more to say, I'm gonna end the stream right here. Luis, I see that you're back. So, Luis.
Oh, that's Manuel.
Oh, Manuel, you're back too. So I'll give Luis and Manuel if you guys want to have the last word because I'm gonna end this stream shortly. So if you just want to say something real quick.
Oh, can you to encourage me to subscribe to my channel because I only have 29 subscribers. I need to increase.
Yeah, guys, go subscribe to Luis Marrero's channel right now.
Come over to my channel if you want, but if you want to.
Yeah,
I'd say
pretty much everybody who's shown up on this stream, you should go subscribe to their channels.
Make sure you go put the links down in case some people may be retards and they go, oh, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'll try to include all your links in the description. Let's
just say
yeah. Go ahead, Manuel.
Just good night, everybody. I mean,
night.
Have a good weekend, man.
I just got a question. That's it.
Sure. What's your question?
Did you said you're gonna try to do this again in November?
February.
No, I'm gonna try to do.
February.
I do one every month.
Yeah,
From
I mean
now,
that's what I meant. February.
Yeah. From now until December of 2016, I'm gonna do one shit posting Friday every single month. So it might be in the first week of the month. It might be in the last week. It honestly just depends when I'm free. But yeah, there's going to be at least 12 coming out.
Okay, I just got to check because I may have some medical things to deal with because like I'm going back and forth to the doctor. I just had a colonoscopy, so like I may have to check to see when is.
Yeah, you told me about that last year, towards the end of last year. Or something
that's a little too much information.
Oh, sorry, but I'm just saying I may have to go back and forth and do some tests and stuff. I just want to make sure I'm here when it's time. That's all.
Well, we all hope that you're okay, but we hope that you can make it.
I hope your anus is okay.
I don't know, dude.
That's triggering. I'm triggered. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Luis, you get to have the last word, and then I'm gonna end this stream. So, what do you have to say?
I think this year 2016 is gonna be. I could tell right now about the Oregon thing. I think this year is going to be huge, especially with the presidential election. It's going to be. I think it's going to be like a right-wing versus left-wing war or something like that. I think it's going to be huge this year.
Yeah.
Look at the.
I think this year is going to suck.
Yeah, more SJW crap at the universities.
I think the year is going to suck, to be honest.
Let me guess. Now they're going to legalize incest. I'm just assuming that because that's the next push. Incest, then.
Don't say that because you might have some ancest heritage. Everyone has an ancest heritage. Look at the ancient, look at the population was so small. It was during the time of the Roman Empire, but globally, the population is so small that at least somehow, at least everyone had at least have some incest. We all inbred.
Yeah. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks everybody for coming on. I'll see you in February.
See ya, Tom.
See you guys.
Yeah. Take it easy. Have a good weekend, everybody.
I will.
Later.